And good evening, everyone, from the MCG. Welcome to Friday night football. The home and away season has all come down to this. It's North Melbourne playing Collingwood as the pipe opener for round 24. And of course, it's this round that will decide the final 8. North Melbourne coming out onto the ground now. Collingwood already out. Both sides pumped in front of a big crowd. And I tell you what, if Garth Brooks is rocking the tennis centre, these two sides are most certainly going to be rocking the MCG. We're going to be in for a big night. Just how important is this game? We've only got to look at the ladder. It's 4th versus 7th at the moment, but both sides are on 12 wins. Collingwood's percentage is of some concern. They are desperate to win tonight to play in the finals. But as I welcome Gerard Healy to our telecast, trying, Gerard, to work out who's going to be playing who in the forthcoming weeks is quite futile at the moment.
Well, certainly beyond my mathematical comprehension, but this is going to be a battle between Collingwood's midfield dominance, their running power, and North Melbourne's advantage up forward. They've got a very tall forward line. There's the Collingwood side, and a lot of interest around Sav Rocker, back into the side after damaging an ankle some weeks ago. And there is a fair school of thought that suggests that he should be tried at centre-half forward, leaving McCartney at full forward. As you can see, the highlighted players, they're midfield runners. They've got to win the game for Collingwood tonight.
North Melbourne making one change. Peter Mann, who's been under a cloud for the past couple of weeks, looks as though he's forced his way back into that lineup.
That he has. And out went Capuano, who did show some good signs last week, so a little bit unfortunate for him. But they're the tall forwards. Corey McKernan and Wayne Carey there are an impenetrable force at centre-half forward. And along with John Longmire, who showed some terrific signs last week against Fitzroy, they look to have perhaps the goal-kicking ability to topple the Pies.
Well, we've probably got the weather of the year on the night of the year for what should be one of the games of the year. It's North Melbourne versus Collingwood, and it's coming your way right after this break.
One, two, you can hear me, Donny?
Yes. I've got you, mate.
Yes.
That's what I'd like. Think about football.
Stevens, Man, German, McCartney, Christian, Krasiska, Kelly, Brown, Tony Shaw, left foot, too big, to Shane Kerris, Jason McCartney. Righto, mate. He's pumped, I can see. Look, he's... Righto, mate. Not a worry. Carey and Scholl. Running through the back was Allison, then comes Archer. Buckley passes. 31. Trent Houghton. Socks down. McAdam. Rock.
Right. It's not a smoky, is he? Oh, God, I hope they can. Yeah. Hello, it's tossing the coin.
That's been won by North. Toss has been won by Wayne Carey and North Melbourne here at the MCG. They're going to be kicking to the right of screen. Crowd probably around 60,000. It's enough to pump anyone up.
of course, including our very own boundary rider, Dipper. Welcome, Dipper.
Thank you very much, Sandy, and welcome to the Friday night footy team, Sandy.
Oh, what a night for it.
A terrific night, as Jerry said. It is a night, the perfect weather down here, and estimated crowd, as you said, 60, I reckon 75,000 people to see a late season blockbuster between these two sides. And we're looking forward to see some great players out there. Tony Shaw, the experience, over 300 games, and of course Wayne Carey at centre half forward. The benches for the Roos, Romero, Rock and German, and for Collingwood, Woods, Butcher and Paul Sharkey. And I think that Sav Rocco will start at centre half forward.
Dipper, your selection.
Oh, yeah. Quick one, Collingwood.
Oh, golly. Thank you, Dipper. Now, boundary rider, Dipper, picking the pies. Time now to welcome another member to our commentary team, former Carlton Premiership player, Ian Robertson. Welcome, Robbo.
Good on you, Sandy, and welcome to you. It's certainly a great scene here at the MCG, and again, I'm looking forward to a terrific match. We've been blessed with some terrific games here on Friday night, and that player there will excite a lot of people, I'm sure, tonight. And his match-up, Gerard, immediately looks as though it's Collingwood's tough man, Craig Kelly.
Well, he's certainly going to need every advantage he can get, and that includes the gloves. Interesting, the bench for North Melbourne, Romero, Rock and German, as Dipper is told, it's very small, which means they've got a very tall side out on the park.
So just about set to go. Schwass and McGuan having plenty to say still. The siren sounds to start proceedings.
Not surprised there's a lot of niggling going on.
Oh no, they'll sort themselves out in this first quarter. Monko's going to charge at Ashenko. He wins it, but down to who? Mickey McGuan. Off the boot, down towards Scotty Russell, who tried the same thing. Back to McGuan again. His hand pass slightly astray towards the 50-metre line. Still with the Pies and Williams. Round his body. Williams into the pocket. No mark taken. And a throw in the right
Free kick, I think, to Fairley.
Yep.
We just saw one of the field umpires going down. It's been a regular occurrence this year. More field umpires hit the dirt than any other season I can recollect.
Fairley's kick goes back to the half-back line. Darren Crocker wearing the safety helmet tonight.
What about Darren Crocker with that supposed hairline fracture?
Well, he's got the guard on. I'm sure the doctors and the medical staff there have given him the all clear. So an element of risk, of course, but that's the things that happens in finals football there. Glenn Archer and Tony Shaw, of course, having a bit of a scuffle, and Archer looks to be picking up Gavin Brown.
This is weekly chat, Tony Shaw, doesn't he? He'd be lost without it. Russell gets the hand pass away again. Buckley in a spot of bother. Off to Christian. The Pies doing the attacking. Russell tumbles a punt. Down towards McCartney, but past him. Over the top it comes. Laidley tucked in the back pocket. Chips it towards it. Crocker on the half-back line. He's playing in front. And Gavin Brown may have given away 50.
Certainly has, and very, very unnecessary. That by the Collingwood captain. They're pumped up, both sides. They have another look. He's taken a clean mark, and then he's tossed to the ground, and a 50-metre penalty was applied. So North Melbourne get the ball up to their 50-metre line. Terrific mark taken by Carey from behind Kelly. Now Carey is 55 metres from goal. He runs in towards centre half forward and kicks it high towards full forward. It's punched away there by Krasiska and goes over for a throw in about 25 metres around from the North Melbourne goal.
Well, I should mention early on that North wearing black armbands in memory of 22-year-old Terry Tolra, who played 4 under-19 grand finals for the Roos and was in 2 Teal Cup Metropolitan teams.
Yeah, bad luck for that young fellow. Here's a chance now for North Melbourne. It's a goal. A terrific kick by Blakey. Is it goal? No, it's been touched. Well, it looked like a clean kick, certainly from the North Melbourne player, and the players back there on the goal line were very close to it, but Krasiska will kick it in for Collingwood.
Well, Sav Rocker's actually lined up in the forward pocket. He's being picked up by Ian Fairley. McCartney is also being picked up by Michael Martin in the goal square.
Watson and Krasiska get it down to the middle, but only as far as Scholl.
Shall be kicking with this pressure.
Yeah, straight to him. In towards half forward. Oh, there's a fine grab taken by Kelly.
No.
Oh, what a steal by Allison.
Gee, they were lucky they got away with a free kick not being given there to Allison.
Not paid, and 2 sets of gloves. Gets Collingwood out of trouble for the moment. Back towards centre wing. Pushed out back towards Scholl. In trouble, off to Mann. Still on the defensive side of centre. Wobbly old punt up towards half forward. Buckley is there. Does it well. Chips Gets towards half forward, but again a poor kick. Man could be first to it. Going to be beaten. Going in strongly was James. Gets the hand pass away. They're desperate, Collingwood, tonight. Their finals chances hinging on this game. Man from half back to take the free kick.
Picking up Houghton.
Finds Smith. He runs North out of trouble. Down towards Carey territory at half forward. Another good mark taken by Kelly. Started well.
Gee, we're in for a great duel there. If those first three episodes are any indication between Kelly and Carey. There's the Collingwood player is Houghton. Gets the ball away. It's kicked forward by Francis. McCartney, was he being held? It's a Collingwood mark anyway. Taken by big Severio Rocker. So Rocker has the first chance for Collingwood's goal.
Jason McCartney, it goes over his head. Perhaps there was an infringement, but turning around and seeing Rocker with the ball in his mitts certainly didn't offer any sign of complaint.
Well, Vic Severio, if Collingwood are successful tonight, will play his 50th game in a final next weekend. Rocker. Oh, very, very ordinary kick. Missed by a long way. And through for one behind. The big fellows just testing each other out with a bit of physical strength work. And the kick in will be done by Ross Smith.
Goes straight down the middle. Ishenko is there, unable to take the mark. McGuong scouting. Got a touch, but only for a moment. Blakey's hurried kick heads towards the boundary line. Scholl leads in the race, but he'll just ease it over the line. Opposition coming from Russell. The Roo bench, as we mentioned. German, Romero and Rock.
Michael Christian on McKernan.
Tony Shaw caught. Nice hand pass from Buckley off to Francis from 70 metres. He heads for home. Long kick. Martin, eyes on the ball. Couldn't complete the mark, and it's taken over for a rush behind.
Tony Francis maybe could have done a little bit better. He was too far out to kick a goal, and the kick really was not to his team's advantage. The kick in goes towards the half-back left for North Melbourne. It's taken by Blakey. He plays on. John Blakey's kick will land the ball near centre wing on the outer side. At the back, it's tidied up by Hassel. He gets it to McGuong. McGuong's little left footer, too high. Punched away by Smith. Russell chips in. He's got the football and he's ducked. Caught. Should be penalised. He's lucky. You tried to ride the bump, but crash your way through and you're impeded, retarded. Very lucky not to get the free kick given against him.
And a great tackle there by Anthony Stevens. Russell is actually lined up on the half-forward flank, being picked up by Craig Scholl.
Man belts it back towards the middle. McKernan couldn't take it. Christian could. Hurried kick down towards half-forward. The mark taken by Trent Houghton. Passes. McCartney almost took it neatly on the half volley. Now has to go over the top. Drives Blakey, who's caught red-handed. Archer tidies up. Out to McMartin. He goes across centre wing. McKernan backs into the pack. No mark taken. Still on the outer side and socket clear. That was by Kerrison off to Buckley, who's got a bit of space. Chips towards the half-forward line and the mark taken by James.
Blakey's got the job on Buckley, and he's got away from him a couple of times early.
Wide out on the flank. Puts it inside 50. Rocker couldn't take it. And Crocker gets the hand pass and then the kick. Back towards the half-back flank. Tony Shaw a charge. Controlled it beautifully. Passes in towards half-forward. Well done by Lady to somehow get a hand in the ball. Caught was Paul Williams. Ball spills free to Crocker again. He kicks to the outer side, but only as far as Gavin Brown. 65 metres out.
Collingwood was certainly on top in the early part of this game.
The kick from Brown. In towards full forward. Houghton was there, but unable to take the mark, and again rushed over for another behind.
And it's been all their midfield at the moment, with Mick McGuong being quite electrifying early. Gavin Brown's got a few touches, as has Nathan Buckley. And it's up to the North Melbourne midfielders to really get on top of their men and start pumping it into their forward line.
Collingwood 13 handballs, North Melbourne 3. The kick in, it's been dropped by Blakey. Paul Williams, striving hard, gets the hand pass back to Brown. Brown across his body, it will be marked by McCartney in the right forward pocket for Collingwood. McCartney looking maybe to give the ball off. Surely he must go on with it now.
He did want it though, didn't he, Ronald?
The long course was certainly an option, and Oshenko not doing enough to cover him.
Well, Jason McCartney was recruited to Collingwood as a forward. He shot for goal, looks pretty good. No, offline again. So Collingwood having no luck in the early part with their goal shooting. Young Magpie fans, the Pies are 4 behind. North Melbourne are 1 behind.
Mann takes the mark in the back pocket. Tense opening by both sides. Fairly chips over the top. North, I'm sure, conscious of their fade-outs in the past couple of years at the end of the season, will be determined not to let that happen again. Blakey from the middle sends them into attack. Down towards Longmire. One hand couldn't complete the mark and is claimed. The ball spills free. Pushed towards the boundary line by Shane Watson. And over. McGuan and Shaw both enjoy a chat. Francis somehow gets it out to Buckley. And Buckley's on the half-back flank. Kicks over the centre. Up towards half-forward. Fisted down towards Russell and Brown. Brown is well claimed and he recovers equally as well. Off to Russell again. The Pies full of running at the moment. Down towards Buckley, who tries to shovel it on. Somehow they get it out to him. Buckley's inside 50. Scholl is there for North Melbourne. Gets the hand pass away to Mann. And Mann steadies. Kicks it back towards centre wing. North trying desperately to hold out Collingwood. They're doing most of the attacking. But now Crocker takes it from Oshenko. Gets it away to Carey. Suddenly the Roos go forward. He's lost it with a bounce. Oh, this is dramatic. Mistakes are coming from everywhere. The pressure is just so intense. Up towards North's full forward line. McAdam the flyer. Krasiska at the back. And eventually he concedes a behind. What an opening, Jared.
Well, you would expect some finals type pressure because that's what it is, and there is the associated mistakes coming in the early part of the game before it settles down a bit.
Krasiska's kick goes to half back and a free kick has been paid to McGuan for being pushed out of that contest. You'll be asked to play on. He's able to get past. A very skillful player, Mickey McGuan. He's downed after he kicked the ball. Roving it is Francis. A little kick for Houghton. Good player, Houghton. Away goes Kerrison. Kerrison's kick is beautifully weighted. And McCartney takes a strong test mark in front of his opponent, Michael Martin. And McCartney is favoured here. He's right in front, basically. But he'll have to kick 50 metres. Gets onto the kick. It is a big roost that hits the post.
A couple of other matchups while we wait for the ball to come back in. Krasiska's picking up Longmire. Watson has McAdam. Kerrison is lining up on Nichols. Tony Shaw and Stevens matching up in the midfield. But with Collingwood looking so dangerous in midfield, it does surprise a little bit to see so many small players on the bench for North Melbourne. But a good challenge for Archer. I think North Melbourne have to find another midfielder if they're to be successful this year. Big go for him tonight.
Monkhorst takes from the kick out, but only as far as Crocker. A man towards the boundary line.
If North Melbourne, you can just come up with one more midfielder, it would really allow Swass to remain a wingman and just spread the load a little bit. As you can see on screen there, with what a marvellous night it is. It's really a summer's night here in Melbourne.
It's 10 degrees at the moment as Laidley spins out of trouble. Kicks back towards centre wing. McKernan couldn't take it. Nichols can. Away he goes towards Carey. But Sitsy's in business. It doesn't quite. He just tries to flick it on. McGuan, however, beats Schwass. And does well.
Brilliant ball handling, McGuan.
Buckley is covering enormous territory after Francis. Look out! Well, he's got a player loose. Now he's called to go on. And he does. He does it well. Down towards full forward. Into the pocket. McCartney was the target. Got a hand to it, but it's Smith who sees it over the line.
both Buckley and McGuan having significant contributions in this early passage.
Well, Buckley's had 6 possessions and Mickey McGuan's had 5. Throw in left forward pocket for Collingwood, taken by Rocker, couldn't get his effective left foot to it. Out wide to half forward, Brown and Archer. What a contest. 2 of the great goers in AFL. But in to help out is Ischenko. Williams is there. May have interfered with the big North Melbourne ruckman. But the umpire gives it all clear to the boundary umpire to throw it in about 65 metres around from the Collingwood goal.
Another interesting matchup, Darren Crocker on Tony Francis.
Very, very good crowd in attendance at the MCG for Friday night football. Mann takes the ball and gets it to Laidley. North Melbourne temporarily out of trouble. Mark taken by Ischenko. Away to Nichols and North go forward.
Down towards half forward, but Monkhorst is there alone.
So one of his roles tonight will be to help out the backman with the likes of Carey and McKernan across there. They need extra height. Collingwood.
He's had a fine year, hasn't he, Damien Monkhorst? This is McGuan. Chipping up towards half forward. Well, Brown was there. John Hassel chips in front.
Good running.
He's on the outer wing, just forward of it. Kicks towards the 50-metre line. There's a big pack developing there. Ross Smith was in it. Couldn't take the mark. Martin tries to get the hand pass out to Fairley, who's on all fours. Does get it clear. Snap in towards full forward. Wobbles in front of Blakey. Kick coming from Russell. Blakey's in trouble. Rides the bump. Gets the hand pass away. Well done by John Blakey. Back towards McKernan, but he's beaten by Christian. Plays on quickly to Tony Shaw. Shaw has a look up forward for the option. Goes straight down the barrel. Socket off the ground, but only straight up and down. James tries to get clear and results in a behind as he puts it over the line.
Scored a goal with a handball, Brett James. But I'll tell you what, there was nearly a miraculous performance in that little passage by McCartney, who threw his foot at it, got about 8 metres, not quite to the goal line. And this is fairly for North Melbourne in the left back pocket. He kicks it out towards half back, and a good mark again is taken by Kelly. A man on a mission is Craig Kelly this evening. Handball to Buckley. Buckley kicks into the man on the mark who was Carey. Away goes Buckley again. Buckley is a very good user of the football. He kicks towards the goal front. It's taken by Houghton. Watch this boy go. He's kicked the first goal of the game. Number 31, Craig Houghton, gets his first and Collingwood's first. They lead 1-6 to 2 points.
Yes, and 1-6 really does give an indication of the dominance of Collingwood early in this game. 7 scoring shots to 2. They really have played all over North Melbourne, over the whole entirety of the ground, and North Melbourne have their worries.
10 points the margin. Rock is on the ground. Collingwood is also preparing to make a change. Butcher warming up. Back in the middle. McKernan up before acceptances. Nichols couldn't take it away cleanly, but he does have help. It finishes with Laidley, who kicks towards the half-forward line, and Carey gives it off to Crocker. Darren Crocker has a bounce, 50 metres out and closing. Now 40. Is this the quick reply from Darren Crocker? One behind.
Listen, Damien Monkhorst not happy with what happened in the midfield there. He's complaining to the umpire that McKernan jumped too early. Collingwood about to exchange one player, Michael Christian, for Kent Butcher.
Another behind to North Melbourne. Pushed down in front of Kerrison. Picks it up now in the half volley. He's trying to get it back to Hassel, but loses it. It finishes with McAdam. He centres it in towards full forward. Longmire's at the back. He's got a chance to try and control this football. He does so to Nichols. 40 metres out. Nichols for goal, and he kicks it. The Roos answer.
I think it was significant that they did take big Alex Ischenko off the ground, put McKernan into the square, which gives them more mobility. Had Rock in the middle also, which also gives them mobility. Unstabilised the Collingwood backline just temporarily while they swung the change, getting a more mobile player in Butcher onto Crocker, who's gone out to half-forward flank, and they scored a goal.
Good play by Longmire. Here's Archer to take the ball away from the centre ruck contest. Only as far as Buckley, leaves it for Hassel. Hassel, who has a fairly awkward kicking style, kicks it high and sets it up nearly. Yes, it's been paid to Archer. A juggling mark, but it's been paid to Glenn Archer for North Melbourne. Having another look, he had 3 or 4 grabs at it. His kick goes in towards the centre. Here's a chance now for Scholl. A little bit too high, but he's got time to recover. Now the ball sits for him, and he kicks in short, looking for Longmire, and just couldn't quite grasp it. Bounces off his shin and over for a throw-in.
The fellow that kicked that one in, Craig Scholl, is one player that's just been down a little bit for North Melbourne. They'll certainly be looking for a couple of big games or a big game leading into the final series.
Opportunity now for Blakey. He's on right half forward, centres it towards Longmire and Carey territory. Neither able to take the mark. Butcher gets a touch, just having come on the ground down towards Francis. Monkhorst in trouble off to Maguire. And Mick comes out of defence. Goes over the centre, but straight to man. Not a good kick. You mentioned it's an important game for Collingwood. It's just as vital for North Melbourne too. They're both locked on 12 wins for the year. Crocker, forward of centre. Goes directly for goal. Longmire trying to do the work from behind. Is not successful. It's pushed down in front towards McAdam, but socket away. It's gone out on the full, and they'll get a chance to bring it in through Darren Crocker.
It was a pretty smart kick from Crocker. He was just setting it up, trying to give Longmire the advantage overhead, and he's got to take those marks because Grosiska will go with him on the ground.
Carey was one of the flyers, but he couldn't complete it. Nichols had booted there first. Round his body towards Longmire again, over the top, but one behind.
Severio Rocker coming off the ground. Tony Woods replacing him. And Woods, of course, will try to exploit the lack of mobility of Ian Fairley. Woods a far quicker player than Big Sav.
And Sharkey is one of the other Collingwood players sitting on the bench at the moment. This is being taken here by Watson. So Watson for Collingwood is only 15 metres away from the North Melbourne goal. He kicks it well out towards the wing. Punched away by Big Monkhorst. Carey grabs it, and have a look at the contempt with which he treated that tackle from Gavin Brown. But the kick has been marked on the 50-metre line for North Melbourne by Watson for Collingwood. He kicks it wide, out towards Kelly.
Good match up that one for Collingwood. I'm sure Lee Matthews would have instructed Watson just to run off McAdam at every possible moment.
Kelly's kick is high, and a terrific mark taken by Williams. Appealing to the umpire for the hanging on by North Melbourne. That's McCartney's lead. Williams' kick goes in that direction. The high flyers required. Martin takes the football, gets the hand pass to Nichols, who's been prominent in the last 5 or 6 minutes. The short kick sets it up a little bit here for Stevens. Stevens is in the middle of the ground, kicks to a man on his own as Longmire, and he marks only 20 metres out, pretty well straight in front.
Great passage of play from North Melbourne, an excellent forward work by John Longmire. Grosiska's playing about 10 metres in front, and he had to look up and make a decision. He went the wrong way. Longmire dummied, and then as soon as he saw Stevens kicking the ball, came back the other way and took the easiest of marks.
Magnificent kick by Stevens, and it's a goal to Longmire. Johnny Longmire gets his first, and North Melbourne hit the front. They lead 16-12.
And as happens so often in modern-day football, this goal was born in the back line. Just watch the way Stevens just waits for Longmire to change directions. He knew that he had Grosiska dead in the water like a dead dingoes, and he kicked a goal.
North Melbourne hit the front. They lead by 4 points. Buckley tries to belt it out of the middle with under 3.5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Stevens kicked towards the middle once more. No mark taken, but Blakey gets clear, and he pumps it long and high. Down towards Longmire, McAdam. They're all there, but no one can take the mark. Carey off the ground. Another behind. So Collingwood dominated the first part of this term. North have hit back. Mick McGuan wants to go and have a chat with Wayne Carey. The Collingwood bench looks on. 1-6, lays 2-5.
Just goes to show the effect of balance. With McKernan going into the midfield, there was no role for Michael Christian, so he ends up on the woodwork.
Grosiska down the middle once more. Monkhorst and Shaw. Shaw claim. Loses the football. Could be costly. Down towards Stevens. Tucked in the pocket, but look out. Slammed to the ground, but he does get it out. Crocker somehow gets it back, and that kick is through for one behind. Brett Allison.
Good decision, I thought, Sandy, to let that one go. Anthony Stevens ducked his head, and Shane Watson's tackle, although high, was only caused by him dropping down the noggin. So play on was a good call.
Yes, I think so far we've had some terrific physical contests between quite a few players, and the umpires have been prepared to let it go. This is Krasiska's kick, goes wide out towards the half-back flank for Collingwood. Tony Shaw's little tap on for the captain, Brown. Francis, oh, look at that tap. That is quite magnificent by Archer. Just rugby type, and pushes Francis for touch.
Let's have a look. He drives with his legs, and that's what you tackle with. The arms are only appendages there just to pin him, but you really get your power from the thigh muscles driving from the ground. That's why you should never leave the ground when you do attempt to tackle a player.
North Melbourne have kicked 2 goals through Nichols and Longmire. Collingwood's a struggle. It came through hot ruck contest at half forward for North between McKernan and Monkhorst. It's taken by Brown. He kicks blindly back towards the wing, but it's well blocked there by Nichols, but he can't get it too far as Williams gets it back. Nichols, no, he's taken it over for a throw in. McAdam is off the ground.
Oshenko into the ruck, McKernan back to the forward line. Monkhorst going with him and signalling to Lee Matthews. He would have obviously picked it up already, however.
Buckley doing the ruck work against Blakey. Blakey gets past, no, he's caught. Still the football on centre wing. Blakey had it for a long time, but the umpire decides to declare a boundary throw-in.
And as you'd expect, Michael Christian already on the interchange area, warming up, waiting to come on.
So Blakey and Buckley do the work again, taken by Stevens. Down towards Carey. Over the back it goes. He couldn't take it. Sock it away down towards full forward. Krasiska's stab passes back towards Butcher on the half-back line. He's running out of room. Crocker keeps it in play beautifully to Wayne Carey on the boundary line. Centering kick. Longmire's in the pack. No mark taken. McKernan off the ground. Well, both those North Melbourne boys fighting for that ball in front of goal.
Gee, I think the coach would have had his heart in his mouth, the Collingwood man anyway. Watson flying.
Here comes the exchange with Kent Butcher. Will hit the interchange area as soon as practical.
2-7. Players 1-6. North Melbourne leads.
Just got back into the game in the last 4 or 5 minutes, the Kangaroos.
Yes. After Collingwood dominated early. Allison from 46 metres. There's another one to the Roos. Brett Allison kicks his 13th goal for the season. North Melbourne move further ahead. They lead by 13 points.
And he's had a very good year, Brett Allison. There's the Collingwood bench, and you'll see this one replayed. Just have a look at the value of a big punch from the forward turn defender. Smashes it back into the area. Picked up by Allison, who dummies and barrels it.
Well, the punch forward was taken by Tony Shaw. He got it to Monkhorst. Kerrison nearly run down by Nichols. Gets the short pass wide. Ineffective. Kerrison falls over, but a free kick has been paid to Collingwood and will be taken by Woods. And I don't think there was much in that. But Woods has the football for Collingwood at left half forward. He hooks the kick into the pocket. Martin knocks it for the advantage of Scholl. Scholl gives away a little bit of ground to Mann. Mann is at full back. Kicks it straight across the ground. Brown and Laidley. Brown does well because he could have given the free kick away. Ducks back. Then the little kick into the pocket. Looks for Martin and McCartney. Taken by Houghton. Into the path there of Williams. But not quite could Paul Williams. And it spills over for a throw-in.
Really has been a quarter played in 2 halves. First half obviously belonging to Collingwood, who couldn't really convert enough, and North Melbourne the last 10 minutes have slammed 3 goals on the board.
From the throw-in, James sees it over the line once more, or is it? Brown tries to keep it in. Look at Gavin Brown, and Smith locks it up.
And a bit stiff not to get the free kick there, Gavin Brown. He perhaps didn't quite take possession of the ball, just paddled in front of him, and certainly he was tackled.
So a pretty even first quarter comes to an end. Collingwood dominated early. North came home strongly, and at quarter time, North leads 3-7-25. The Pies are 1-6-12.
Sandy Roberts presents Australia's top sport show, Sports World, Sunday on 7.
pressure cooker first quarter here on Friday Night Football, with the Kangaroos coming home the stronger. 3-7-25 at the first change, leading the Magpies 1-6-12.
This match is part of the Masters 1994 AFL Premiership season.
And of course, don't forget all the top sporting action continuing here on 7, with the World Swimming Championships getting underway in earnest tomorrow night. Kieran Perkins leading the Australian charge once again. But wherever you may be viewing, just check your local guides. As I said, it does get underway tomorrow night from Rome with Bruce McAvaney and the team. Well, Dipper, first quarter really typical of a finals match. Plenty of mistakes early on.
Certainly was, Sandy, but it certainly is a game of matchups, as Gerard said, but on and off the field, as players are coming off the bench here, they're matching up players all around the ground. And Collingwood have got to snap up those opportunities in front of goal, because they're not a tall side in front of goal, and compared to North Melbourne, where they got Carey, Longmire, and of course and McAdam, also a very tall player up there. And for Collingwood, they've got to keep that ball low, coming off that half-forward line, because they're just bombing the ball and giving their players no opportunity to take a good mark.
Still staying with the Pies, Dipper?
I certainly am.
Well, the goals were hard to come by, weren't they, Gerard, early on?
Yeah, and they really got their act together when Allison, or Trent Nichols, I think it was, that kicked the first goal. And it happened at a time when North Melbourne, when Collingwood were making an interchange. They took Christian off the ground. They had Butcher coming back onto the ground. And in that moment, just of a little bit of lack of surety, up Bob Nichols for a goal. It also happened when Ishenko went into the middle of the ground.
13 points is the margin at quarter time, favouring the Roos. So Collingwood be very keen to close that gap early on in the second term if they're to stay in the game. And the hunt for the finals race. Look at Gavin Brown charging them out of the middle. Down towards full forward. Martin going back with eyes on the football. Got a hand to it, but that was all. Here's Houghton with a chance, but he's caught. Handles it like a hot potato. It comes to Smith. Clever kick. Does it beautifully to Nichols. They're out of trouble to Blakey on the outer side. Kerrison gives chase, but Blakey gets his kick. Monkhorst's in front. Has it stolen by Carey, who's looking for 50.
Collingwood should have done better with that up forward. They had the opportunities. Big Rocker had his hands on it. It was a poor handball.
Carey's kick to the lead of Longmire. At the back is Francis. Collingwood now forced to defend. Under pressure, he kicks out on the full, and North will go into attack again.
Good play by Allison.
Just pressure, pressure, pressure. Archer to bring it back into play. Again, a centering kick. No one able to take it cleanly. Allison may get a snap with the left foot. Well, it was good into the square, but the only one there was Damien Monkhorst.
Wayne Swash yet to touch the football. His opponent, Mick McGuan's, had half a dozen possessions. But North Melbourne are in front, so the matchups at the moment are suiting North Melbourne.
I agree with you. They should have got a little bit more out of that attempt right at the start of the quarter. The kick by Monkhorst has been marked by Francis. He goes back to the goal square where Monkhorst has taken the mark. They're looking to move the ball. They will here. Well done, Watson. Then Krasiska back to Watson. Watson goes short to the wing. Mark taken by Brown. Good play, Archer, just to hold him up momentarily. But not long enough, because Gavin Brown can still get the ball to Hassel. And Hassel can go into the centre. And the mark there is taken by Krasiska. He gets the handball to the runner in Watson. Watson goes in towards the forward pocket. Punched away by Martin. And very strongly in the finish by Mickey Martin over for a throw-in.
Kerrison off the woods for Collingwood. That was a typical move by Collingwood, just centering the ball and then bringing it down the midfield of the ground.
The margin 13 points. Man edged out. James tries to flick it high. It's kicked back towards Brown, who takes a good diving mark.
Terrific player when he's fit, Gavin Brown.
Fantastic to watch. So is this boy, Buckley. Nathan Buckley, penetrating kick in towards half forward. No one able to take it cleanly. Rock runs into trouble. Sav Rocker applying the tackle.
Once again, you saw Gavin Brown centering the ball to Nathan Buckley. It's a move that got Collingwood into trouble last weekend against St Kilda, but they do it so well on most occasions.
Fairley at the bottom. Tries to get it out. Eventually Martin comes out the back door. Mickey has a bounce or two.
McGuan's
Three,
going to go
says it has. No one comes at him. So he kicks long, up towards Carey, used the body beautifully. And away he goes. 60 metres into Longmire. But it won't quite sit. It wasn't quite accurate if he wasn't to go for goal. One behind as Tony Shaw continues to chat away. And so too does Big Monkey.
The kick in by Gavin Krasiska goes straight down the ground. He's looking for Kelly, didn't find him. Buckley's able to spin out of trouble. He was a bit fortunate. Got the kick in towards the centre. The bouncing ball was a bit awkward. Houghton tried to get it to Stevens. It rebounds back to Brown. He's held. Must get a free kick. Brown 50 metres from goal for the Magpies. And one wonders whether he can kick that distance. He doesn't have to. He can go in short and give Mickey McGuan the chance to kick a goal from about 45 metres.
Trent Houghton, of course, pretty lucky to get away with it. There's no way that you can execute champagne football as he tried to do that with a little tap over to Tony Shaw.
This is McGuan for Collingwood, already a contender for goal of the year earlier in the season on the same ground. And Collingwood could do with this, Mick. The look on his face. The player on the mark has gone back a little bit. He gets close to him and then is forced to kick it high. But it is accurate. It's a goal. So Mick McGuan gets his first goal. Collingwood get their second. The difference is 8 points.
Once again, Collingwood just chipping the ball around, just looking for a better option for goal. Mick McGuan, one of the best shots of goal in the competition, either on the run or from a stationary position.
8 points the margin. They had to close the gap. They had to be the first to score the goal. They have, but now Archer pushes North Melbourne into attack only as far as the dashing Francis. Look at him go! Tony Francis brings the Pies to life. Mickey Martin missed it completely, but he gets good backup support from Ian Fairley. Swings it towards Crocker on the outer side. Playing in front, and he takes the mark from Shane Watson. Heads towards Rock. With him was Tony Woods, who's been working off the bench. Shaw and Schwass are still at it. The ball sails straight over their heads. No mark taken. Francis defends, gives it away to Mick McGuan. He's got Monkhorst, goes a little too high for Monkey. Over the back. An opportunity now for Williams. Oh, does it beautifully. They can start something here. Away they go through John Hassel. Poor bounce. He's going to need help. Scholl grabs him. But he keeps working. He gives it to Russell, who chips to half forward, and the mark is taken by Houghton. Back he goes, ignoring the Rocker lead. Poor kick. McCartney gives away the hand pass. Here's a snap by Buckley, and the Pies are back in the race.
Great goal there from Nathan Buckley, but very good hands from Jason McCartney. This ball must have hit the man on the mark. Yes, it did. You could see it just slew off the hands. McCartney knew he was gone. He had to get rid of it and gave it to the best option probably out in the ground in Nathan Buckley, who barreled it.
Terrific kick by Buckley for his first goal.
And North Melbourne implementing a move that they did the last time these clubs met. They put Wayne Sposs to full forward, trying to get him into the game.
You saw the look on Corey McKernan's face at the centre bounce, and he takes it away for the Kangaroos. Kicks it straight down the ground. A strength at half forward. This is Schwass. Gets it to Longmire. Shrugs the tackle. Gets the kick away. Yes, Mark Carey. Well,
too strong
he is an amazing man, Wayne Carey. Anywhere the ball is kicked to him, he'd have to be a real chance to take a mark.
Michael Christian in the front spot. There was nothing humanly possible that he could have done to prevent Carey taking that mark. Nothing legal anyway.
Surely he must kick his first goal. He's only 12 metres out directly in front, and he puts it through for a goal. So North Melbourne answer the Collingwood challenge, much to the delight of their fans. They're 4-8, Collingwood 3-6.
Yes, and from since early on in the first quarter, North Melbourne have got well and truly on top in the centre bounce takeaways. Once again, they got it out of the middle. It's now 6-2. Good to see Swass getting a touch of the football, and it resulted in a goal. He's a very skillful player. When he gets the ball, things happen for North Melbourne. John Blakey on Nathan Buckley in the middle of the ground. Archer still with Gavin Brown.
32 plays 24. 8 points the margin. Monkhorst beaten, but who will win it out of the centre? Stevens works hard. Goes wide to Scholl on the wing. Craig Scholl gets clear, then swings it round his body up towards the half-forward line. And Woods dropped what he should have taken. Kelly is wonderfully tackled. Spills free. Crocker's on all fours. He can't take it. Longmire on McGuan. Carey over the top. Tony Shaw there. The bounce will take place. As McCarthy has a spell on the bench. They're working overtime, these benches.
Replaced by Paul Sharkey.
8 points the margin. As they met earlier this season, Collingwood made a boomer of a start, but then they were overrun by North Melbourne, and they did it without Wayne Carey on that night. Tony Shaw caught one, but he does get the hand pass away. Now perhaps Collingwood could start something here. Across that half-back line from Gavin Brown. It's a high kick up towards half-forward. Was it down the ground? Allison was late, said the umpire.
It wasn't a great move there by Allison, because that kick went to nobody. It was going to be marked by one of 3 North Melbourne players. Wasn't a great kick from Gavin Brown.
Paul Sharkey having only his 9th game. Passes in towards full forward. Great interception by Mann.
Had a great start to the game, Mann.
From the back line, he kicks to centre wing. Big pack of players once again. McKernan had to try and beat a couple. Couldn't take the mark. Tony Shaw tries to get the hand pass out. Sharkey in there as well. Christian at the bottom. And with Glenn Archer picking himself up. And Dennis Pagan on the phone. Another bounce will take place.
It's on centre wing on the members' side. Brown after the football. And nearly taken away there by Trent Nichols, but the umpire calls for another bounce. Lee Matthews surveying the scene. Again, Monkhorst and Ischenko. Ischenko gets it down, but only as far as Buckley. Buckley's kicked to half forward. It's punched back. Gatherers by Archer. Archer kicks blindly in towards half forward. It looked a blatant free kick, not paid. Kelly knocks it, not clear enough. McKernan held, no, Watson and Rock. Watson bashes it close to the line and over. And some fierce attempts at getting hold of the football, and a couple of just, well, retarding jobs done. Were they legal? Gary Pert having a look from the coach's box, which is not a bad idea. The players learn a lot when they watch a game alongside the cockroach. This is gathered by Stevens, not quite. And Schloss.
Well, they've been at it all night. There's McGuan, Shaw and Schloss all having plenty to say. A throw in. Monkhorst belts it clear, but there's been a whistle for a push out. Be taken by Big Alex. He's shown the mark, told to play on. And he does. Down towards a fairly congested forward zone. Allison roves the pack and slams it into the woodwork.
It was a classic piece of roving half-forward play, swooping, call it what you will. Great piece of work there by Allison. Just couldn't finish it off. Ramiro coming on for Rock.
9 points the margin.
And there it was, on the bounce, a half volley. He had time. He could have just bent it round, could have even straightened up and run up the goal, but they're easy to say when you're sitting 100 yards away from the action.
Francisco to bring it back into play for the Pies. It's towards Kelly. They've got the numbers here. Buckley, Brown and McGuan, they're all there. Schloss in their wake. McGuan in towards full forward. A rock of the fly, no mark taken. Again, the North defence standing strong. Scholl kicks back towards centre wing. Brown shows the customary courage. There's been a push out. He'll take it on centre wing. There's no fear, this man. Finds McGuan again. Long goes McGuan. Into the pocket. And hammered over the boundary line. Right forward pocket.
They continue to do the same thing that Dipper said at quarter time. Bomb away, just sets it up for the North defenders to punch it away.
Here's the throw in again. McKernan comes over the top. Romero off to man, they'll get out of trouble. He's done well in defence. He bounces his way down to half back. Martin saying, come on, put it out in front of me. And here goes Mickey Martin. Couldn't quite take it, but he's away. Oh, he's loving this, the fullback. Down towards half forward. In fact, inside 50. Pressure now on the Collingwood defence, and that just about goes out of bounds. So young Tony Woods feeling all the pressure. And Wayne Schwass, who we said was running in the wake, is now having a spell on the bench.
He's only had the one handball. It did result in a goal, but as a midfielder, he has to do more. And Peter German gets an opportunity.
Knocks the ball down. It's taken by Nichols.
In towards full forward. Over the back it goes. And a free kick.
And Wayne Carey injured, limping towards the bench for North Melbourne. This could prove disastrous.
Well, there it is. Clashed with Tony Shaw, but he's definitely in trouble.
Must be just a corky, you'd suggest, coming from that simple incident. So what did he go off? It was only that.
So as he leaves the ground, North score a goal. Longmire gets his second, and North again open up a 15-point lead. But this is a dramatic time of this game, and maybe, Gerard, at North's season.
Well, if he's done his knee and he's out for a few weeks, it would certainly cast a very dark shadow over their finals hopes, North Melbourne. You can see the doctor just assessing the problem there for Wayne Carey, asking some questions.
Well, there's the concern. Wayne Carey being attended to on the bench, and you saw a repeat of what had happened. Trying to get clear, North Melbourne. Force the ball to left half forward. German into the action. Good pressure applied by McGuan. Taken by Archer. The little kick by that player. Gathered by Crocker. Tackled fiercely by Watson. Ball spills Ramiro's court. Goes wide to Laidley. He's caught. Stevens is gone. They're all able to get the hand pass away. Laidley off the left foot. The mark is taken by Ramiro, and if it's not a mark, it's a free kick. Play on. Stevens kicks it to the goal front. Longmire couldn't take the mark.
A free kick.
And there is a free kick being paid to John Longmire, I would suggest, for holding against Gavin Krasiska. So that angle will be extremely difficult, but players of today have perfected that screw punt kick. And we'll watch John Longmire attempt to get his third goal. It's high. It's very close. I think it's a goal. It is. Longmire has now kicked 3 of North Melbourne's 6 goals, and in their wake are the Magpies, who are 3-6.
And you'll just pick up the free kick here. Krasiska uses that right hand, just drags him down. Wasn't much in it, but it was there, and the free kick was paid, and the goal's on the board. Interesting approach for that one, but can't question it when it goes through the middle. Here's another look at Wayne Carey. And also Wayne Schwass on the bench.
Tried to have a bit of a jog on that boundary line, and I don't think there was a great deal of success. Collingwood needs something now. Tony Shaw. An awkward-looking little kick goes down towards the half-forward line. Butcher applies a solid tackle as the ball spills free to Laidley. They've got the players there to help. This is Mann, who's been terrific. This time he heads towards the boundary line. Archer is there, and he makes sure that it goes over. For a kick, he did make sure it went over. Williams into the pocket. Tony Shaw's got to beat a couple. Was he held? Paddled over the line. Another throw. So the heat's on here at the MCG.
And Archer giving the old ankle a bit of a tweak also. Good fight on.
Does appear to be okay. Rocker trying to use the body of Francis, his pace. But the North defence has been standing strong. This time German couldn't take it on the half volley. Tony Shaw out to Nathan Buckley. He's outside 50 just. Gets his kick as he's claimed by McKernan. Kicks in towards full forward. No mark taken. Francis waiting down, so too is Crocker. Neither can take it cleanly, but Francis is still going. Outside 50 now. He's given away a bit of ground. In towards Buckley. He's got it on the half volley. Then does get it out, but straight to Stevens. Off to McGuan. Mickey McGuan fires at goal. It's going to be close, just away to the left. And another behind.
We just saw Corey McKernan applying a tackle at centre-half back for North Melbourne. He really can't afford to get himself sucked down that far because North Melbourne have only got midgets up on the half-forward line. When Carey's out in the ground, it's fine that they can two-team and use the advantage of having those two big forwards, but not when one's on the bench.
6-9 plays 3-7. Laidley and Ramiro combining. Eventually Ramiro has a second possession. Kicks it high out towards the wing. Punched away there by Houghton. Gatherers by Crocker. Tackled by Francis. Very good. Watson gets it to Martin. Martin's kick is ineffective. In goes Blakey. Blakey taps it to the advantage of Stevens. His kick taken by Crocker. Back to Stevens. Nearly run down by Francis. Handball Laidley. Laidley's got Stevens in support, who just kept on running quite magnificently. Mann with finishes with the football. Kicks it to the goal front. Back there is Monkhorst. No free kick. Brasiska looked at the umpire. Monkhorst's kick goes to the wing. It's gathered here by Williams. Williams, a short kick. Now McGuan. They must get something out of this. The clear possessions at half forward are resulting in nothing, and this is probably another circumstance where it's punched away quite simply by the North Melbourne defence, and it's over for a throw-in.
McAdam in trouble behind the play. He tried to get over the defence. In fact, he's leaving the ground, so injuries now starting to hit North Melbourne and hit them pretty hard, and it's going to bring Wayne Schwass back out onto the ground. So this game is being blown wide open as Romero kicks back towards centre wing. Archer may set over the line, but this time it most certainly was not delivered.
Schwass going deep into the forward line.
Still receiving attention on the bench. Brown keeps it into Shaw. Off to Buckley, a talented trio. Nathan Buckley, a high left foot kick back towards the 50. There's no one down there at the moment able to convert. Laidley towards centre wing. Past Shaw. Buckley quickly gets boot to ball. It ricochets off to Fairley. He may get a bit of space here. Up towards the half-forward line. In fact, inside 50. Good mark going back, taken by Hassel. Does it well. Off to Shane Watson. Out of trouble, back towards the big monkey. Martin comes out. Scholl is there as well for North Melbourne. Martin again gets it off to Crocker. North Melbourne goes surging forward. Out in front of Trent Nichols. Nichols in towards full forward. Longmire trying to do the work from behind. Unsuccessful. Allison will kick a goal. He gets his second. And North should clear.
Yes, really against the flow of play, that one. I thought Collingwood were just starting to take over this game, but Nichols getting the ball long. Longmire not marking, but at least bring it to ground. The bounce just favoured Allison there. Bad luck for young Hassel. Allison gets another one with the trusty left foot that time.
Well, very important 26-point advantage now with North Melbourne. Monkhorst, he's kicked towards half forward. Very, very easily marked in the finish by Scholl, and he arrogantly runs away from half-back, kicks it in towards the centre. But a terrific mark taken. Running with the flight of the ball by Williams. He's kicked towards half-forward. It is marked by Russell, but he's not able to play on. It's held up a little bit. He's kicked into the pocket, and the mark is taken there by Houghton. Houghton is about 30 metres out. Difficult angle.
Houghton moved down into the goal square. McCartney out the centre half forward.
Well, Collingwood's problem, up until the bye about 3 or 4 weeks ago, certainly was kicking goals, and that's what's happening tonight. Houghton's kick, though, is a beauty. It's a goal. Anyone watching cricket would have been proud of that. Swinging around for his second goal, and very importantly for the Magpies, it brings it back to a 20-point margin.
And he just didn't really attack that ball. I just thought he could have been running a little bit quicker. But he has converted. He's taken the mark. He can ask no more of it. But I just reflects back on the way Rocker attacked his ball.
4 minutes left in the second quarter. Important that Collingwood get some sort of a score. But on the other hand, stop North Melbourne. The mark taken by Kelly. He's able to play on. The kick really not all that effective. Gathered brilliantly by Stevens, in turn by Archer. Archer's kick towards half forward. A free kick has been picked out by the umpire, and it will go to Collingwood, and to be taken in the full-back area by Michael Christian. He's got a player in the centre of the ground. It's that evergreen Tony Shaw, and it has not been allowed a 50-metre penalty. Will bring the ball into the centre of the ground anyway, so it's still with Collingwood, and the player to kick them into attack will be Michael Christian. Short, and it's taken by Woods.
He's still in the middle, with just over 3 minutes remaining. Long kick down towards full forward. No one able to take a mark. Allison tries to fist it out the back. Brown is caught. It spills free. Fairly working hard, but so too is Tony Francis. He has it locked up. He was tackled by two. There was no escape. 51 plays 31. Players bench look on. 20 points the margin. Their season resting on this game. Scholl unable to get clear with it. Woods does to Shaw. An interesting hand pass. May open the door for German and North Melbourne. Stevens is quick. In towards half forward. Oh, the bounce is not a good one for Collingwood. Lomai may have another one. He sprays it. He sprays it badly to the left, and almost a wry smile.
Gee, that could have made those Collingwood boys at half forward bleed if he'd have kicked that.
So they stay alive. Just Shane Watson. Bring it back. Chips towards the back pocket, and ever so dangerously.
When there's a risk, for the life of me, I've had this out with you before, Jared, when there's a risk, why kick short?
Well, he who takes no risk, of course, Robbo, was usually lost, and Collingwood have to take risks. They're 20 points down. Swass coming off the ground again for Rock. Nothing wrong with that except the execution.
Allison. Kicking from inside 50. This will certainly hurt if he's successful. He threads it. A marvellous kick. So again, they steam clear by 26 points.
And of course, it makes it doubly hurt when they go back and slam one through. North Melbourne, you must say, you take your hats off to those fellows out in the ground, because two of their recognised superstars in Swass and Carey are having no effect on the game whatsoever at the moment. That's a pretty good kick from a tight angle.
It's a beautiful kick by Allison, his third goal. Well, both Longmire and Allison have kicked 3 goals for North Melbourne, and they're going to force the ball forward again out of this centre bounce. It's Ramiro towards half forward, taken by Kelly. Handball to Hassel. Just under 2 minutes left. Can the Magpies get a goal back? It's Buckley from half back. He kicks to a vacant half forward area. The bounce is all important. It's knocked forward by Fairley, but he's able to gather the ball again, and brilliantly done by Ian Fairley. He kicks it back to the wing where the mark is taken by Ramiro. He started on the bench, Jose Ramiro. He's picked up 7 possessions. A high kick towards half forward. Out comes Kelly, and the big men crashing into each other, Martin and Kelly. And the luck of the Irish, Craig Kelly comes out with the footy.
Meantime, Swass back on the ground. Rock had 30 seconds out there.
Hassel comes through half back. Kicks up towards centre wing. He wanted Brown. He didn't find him. Alex Oshinko does it like a rover. Time ticking away for North in this quarter. And also the Pies that dearly love another goal or two. Kelly has it on half back. Just over a minute remaining. McGuan to Shaw. Still on half back. Chips it in towards the middle. To Nathan Buckley. Long and low to half forward. Good kick. Fine mark. Taken by Houghton.
18 possessions to Nathan Buckley, an outstanding first half.
Norwich rising star of last year, has had a very good year this year. From 51 metres, going for distance, but off the side of the boot. And out of bounds on the floor.
Short kick has been marked by Mann. Half a minute left in the first half, and North Melbourne will go in with a very, very handy break. They're 8-9, Collingwood are 4-7. The ball at the back, kick forward by Christian. If Collingwood can take a mark from this, the ball at the back, Williams shrugs the tackle, goes into an open goal, and the Magpies have got something to shout about. Paul Williams, maybe a little fortunate, but he's kicked his first and Collingwood's fifth, and it's back to 20 points. Very, very close. You can see there 8 seconds left in the first half.
Good awareness there, though, by Paul Williams. He knew he was under some pressure. He just had a bit of a gamble, thinking he'd get away from his opponent. Lately it was, who's kept him pretty quiet for most of the night. Only 9 possessions to Williams, but importantly no goals. Just that extra bit of speed and power drove him away from Laidley.
There's Carey again, testing that knee as we go back to the centre. Only seconds remaining. It's half-time. Nathan Buckley boots it clear. Stevens picks himself up. For Collingwood, it was a 4-goal quarter. They booted 4 goals, 1. North outscored them. They booted 5-2 to lead at half-time, but they do have their worries, the leaders, principally around their skipper and key half-forward, Wayne Carey, who is on the bench and not 100%. So half-time, the Roos lead 8-9, 57 by 20 points. Collingwood are 5-7, 37.
A double header worth waiting for. Sydney and Melbourne, West Coast and Footscray. Sunday on 7.
No worries.
10 of the corner scoreboard. 5.
Let's check the Qantas scoreboard at half-time on our Friday night football clash between the Pies and the Roos. Collingwood teetering on the brink. 20 points is the margin. They're not out of it, but they've got some catching up to do. 8-9 plays 5-7. And one man who is watching it with great interest, and I would suggest perhaps biting the nails at the odd occasion, is their president of 9 years out at Collingwood, Alan McAllister. Welcome, Al. It's nice to have a chat with you again.
Thank you, Sandy.
Coming into finals, let's go turn the clock back 12 months. You were adamant, absolutely adamant, Collingwood would not play finals in Perth. Has your attitude changed?
Well, I said at tonight's dinner, if we were lucky enough to get in there, I think that we'd still have a bit to say about that. I mean, I think that's an extraordinary advantage given to a team in the finals after playing 22 games. That you're giving another team six goals start to play them in a final series, and I think that's totally unacceptable. And I think the commission should never have been allowed to get away with it. And if I'd had support 4 or 5 years ago when I said we wouldn't bloody well go there, then that wouldn't be part of the conditions now. They should be playing finals here. This is the headquarters, this is where they should be playing them. And I think the other clubs were very weak at the time to have accepted that. And I still don't accept it as a situation that should be on in a final series where a team gets a home team advantage of such significance as they do.
But you would have to go, wouldn't you?
I suppose we'd have to go in the short term, but I'd say this, that we intend as a club to sort that one out with the AFL in future. And if we get support from other clubs, it should be turned around.
All right, your thoughts, Alan, say on night finals, obviously just around the corner.
Well, night finals, I'm against those as well, but of course you go with the stream. They're a great spectacle, of course, but they're not natural football. It's not the same game tonight as it would be in the daytime. And I think that's destroying what the real essence and the real basis of our game was. You've got to go with it because I suppose television, the night spectacle, the atmosphere and all those sorts of things, but it's not genuine football and shouldn't be happening in the finals.
A couple of quotes that are attributed to you over the years. After the 1990 grand final, a wonderful moment for the club. You were asked after that just how long Lee Matthews would be coaching at the club, and you said as far as Lee was concerned, Lee would be at Collingwood for as long as he liked. Has your attitude not changed?
That's still my personal attitude. He got us a flag in 1990. I know what he did, and I know what he did to get it, and it took 32 years, and he took us to a height we've never seen there before, in my view. And I'm a great Lee Matthews supporter and always will be.
But you've also said this year that you feel
that it has been unacceptable that Collingwood has been unable to win another flag since 1990.
Yes, I believe in 1991 we're unable to settle ourselves down. In 1992 was the year we probably could have given it a real good shake. We got beaten by St Kilda and by 8 points, I think. We had a lot of injuries that year, but we should have given it a real shake. Now, unfortunately, last year was the turning of the wheel. We lost 12 players of our premiership team that year, and we're really, on a basis of team building. With young, probably 5 out of 6 forwards are under 21, or 21 are under today. It's not acceptable for Collingwood not to be part of the finals in the last 4 years. It's totally unacceptable, and we're desperately trying to do something about it.
Well, you're not out of it yet here tonight.
Not out of it
You're looking
yet.
down the barrel a little bit.
Yeah.
Graham Corn said during the week in Adelaide, when asked to describe the final 8 system, which of course we're going to be looking at next week, quite simply he said it was ludicrous. What are your thoughts?
No, well, in the beginning I said it was a joke having 8 final series, but I'll tell you what's changed there. The teams are so even, they've made them so even, that 8, I think, is about acceptable. I mean, to have 6 or 4 even, because of the evenness of the competition, it'd be really unfair that some teams should miss out. And I think in the line with their formula, would be fortunate or good luck or not, because of the evenness of the teams which they've created, you probably need 8 to sort it out at the end of the year.
Now tell me, are you starting to mellow in your old age, or is Peter Gordon now, he's the one really stirring the pot? He's virtually taken over your mantle, has he not?
It's an old dog for an old road. I get my own way quietly now. He's in the throes of getting his way, but I know what I get, and I know I get it in the way perhaps you learn as you go along, and I'm very happy with what I get when I want it.
Alan, just speaking of old dogs, and just in closing, it's a sentimental time at Collingwood for Tony Shaw. He's been a magnificent player, a marvellous leader, and I know you wouldn't like to let this moment elapse without saying something about him.
Well, he's a little marvel. Tony Shaw is a little marvel. There's no doubt about that. His ability and his endeavour and his leadership out there tonight, and every time you see him, you could not praise him enough. He is just a little marvel, no doubt about him.
Al, thanks for your time. As I said, you're not out of it yet. 20 points,
no,
but they've got the job ahead of them.
Well, we aim to still win. By Jove, we do.
Alan McAllister joining us on Friday Night Football. We'll take a break. The Qantas scoreboard shows North Melbourne leading by 20 points, 8-9-57. The Magpies are 5-7-37 as we join Gerard Healy for his half-time synopsis. Gerard, is North Melbourne, without being too harsh of Alex Oshenko, North a better side with him on the interchange bench, do you think?
Well, I think perhaps against some sides, Sandy, and I thought that Collingwood have got a more dominant midfielder. Their strength is their midfield, and when you put McKernan into the midfield, you give him a bit more run, and I think that's was the interesting point. And that's when the game changed, when they took the big fellow Oshenko off the ground. They put McKernan in there. They started to get some run. I think North Melbourne perhaps started a little bit tall. Against other sides, of course, Oshenko comes into his own. He's certainly got a role to play at North Melbourne. And I think also when you take McKernan away from the half-forward line, you also limit a lot of North Melbourne's strike power and unbalance them a little bit. Allison has been an exceptional player for North Melbourne once again tonight. Typical half-forward flanker, just bobbing in, kicking those important goals. And I think also Nichols was a spark for them too. They'd be pleased with the form of Longmire. He's kicked 3 first-half goals. And also after a good bag last week, he's starting to run into some form. There's the second-half stats. They're pretty even in possessions. And probably the only disparity there is right down the bottom of the table, where it most often is centre bounce takeaways. And when you consider that North Melbourne went into this game perhaps with a question mark over their midfield, they're doing terrifically well in the centre of the ground.
But their problems, of course, lie with 2 of their key players. Wayne Schwass is having a quiet night, and Wayne Carey, who does have a problem.
Well, Schwass, of course, is up against McGuan, Francis and Buckley. They all started in electrifying form. McGuan's a terrific player, of course. He's an all-Australian tagger, if you like, and he was running down and really creating some problems for North Melbourne. Schwass is going to have a look at that. They put him down to the forward line. He's touched the ball once or twice, not enough. But he's a good player, and you'd expect him to fight back in the second half.
Well, the Pies at Dilly love their forwards to fire, one of them being Jason McCartney. Gerard, let's just spend a minute with him now.
Tim Watson's a football hero. I would have been first game as a 17-year-old for sure, and playing in a final. Oh, I wouldn't mind having a go at golf or tennis where the money is, I'd say. Not real good at it, but have a go at it. I have to say Melrose Place. The Simpsons. I think at the moment I'd buy Fitzroy and help them out so they stay as Fitzroy. Mark Richardson, for sure. I'd probably go up home to the bush. I'd probably blow out in a big fat pig. I really love watching Wayne Carey play and Glenn Jakovich. I think Gavin Brown might have a fair chance. So.
Not with the rest of the team. He is coming over to the bench. So for more news on that, let's go down to our boundary rider, Dippo. What's the news?
Well, we think it's a calf strain. As Gerard Healy will tell you, once you get these calves at this level, unfortunately you can't come back on because they become very, very tight. I'm sure the physio will tell you a bit more about that. But I think that Collingwood are still playing very good football. Their work rate is still tremendous out here, with players like Francis, Buckley, McGuan and Brown still are putting that ball up their forward line. But unfortunately, the forwards have let Collingwood down tonight. They can't take a strong mark, and they keep bombing that ball up there.
Now, Dipper, I just want to change the subject for a minute because I happen to be down at Sandown during the week, Sandown Racetrack, in preparation for the Sandown 500. I'm looking at you on a monitor at the moment, just curling the mo, putting down the visor, and about to head off with Neil Compton around the track. Just tell us what the feeling was like.
It was absolutely fantastic, and I actually thought Neil was just going to take me around the track, explain about all the curves. He just went 100 miles an hour, 300 k's an hour. Sandy, I was looking for the brakes, but I couldn't find them.
I was going to say, you would have been pushing down that floor as hard as you possibly
well, my
could.
eyes are still popping out at the moment. It was just sensational, and the work rate these drivers do is just fantastic, you know. But the question is, Sandy, can they get the ball?
Oh, you're joking.
And on the bench for North Melbourne is McAdam, Rock and Carey. Collingwood, Sharkey, Butcher and Big Sav Rocker. Nathan Buckley has been quite outstanding in midfield, and it just backs up what Dipper says. They're getting plenty of the ball there, but they're not kicking goals. 18 possessions to half-time. Excellent.
Well, this could be the quarter. North Melbourne leads by 20 points. Monkhorst gets the first touch. Brown can't rip it out in the middle. Stevens tries to block him and then get it forward. Body over the ball is from Woods. Francis lays a tackle. And a bounce will take place as Peter Mann picks himself up.
See, the centre breaks are so important. When you watch the desperation that the players attack the football at centre bounces, you can see it's so very important.
Just cannot afford to waste one opportunity. Francis can't quite get out the back door. Krasiska can. Round centre wing he goes. Towards Buckley, who's had a sensational first half. Off he goes to his skipper. Back in turn to Tony Woods. Collingwood down to half-forward. They need the first goal badly. At the back, McGuan. A left foot snap. They wanted to bend back, but it goes the other way. And it wobbles. It wobbles over the boundary line.
And you can see there on screen that Nathan Buckley has a new opponent in Craig Scholl. Buckley starting on the half-forward flank.
Right forward pocket for Collingwood. Boundary throw in. The ruckman to go at it. Martin and Houghton. Houghton for Collingwood. Gets the front position. Can't gather the ball. Neither can James. And it goes over for a boundary throw in just a few metres around from the previous one. There's Buckley. 19 possessions already. Craig Scholl, shoulder to shoulder with Nathan Buckley. Punch to the front of the goals. McCartney, a little flipper. It's taken away by Scholl. The advantage is with North because the free kick was against the Collingwood player. It's down to centre wing. Scholl had a good run at it, then kicks it to half forward. At the back, no, Christian did well, held his ground. Hassel gets his left foot to it and kicks it out on the full. So the free kick to be taken for North Melbourne. Down here on centre wing by Jose Romero.
Scholl must have run 40 metres. Jose Romero just backing into one of our trusty cameramen and hitting the turf.
Romero from centre wing, kicks it in towards half forward. Monkhorst, it's punched away. The ball rebounds. Mann gets it to German. German's kick. nearly taken by Watson. A struggle for possession here. It's Schwass to Mann. Mann's hook kick to the front of the goal square. Kelly and Longmire couldn't take the mark. In goes Kelly once again, and that North Melbourne player, Crocker, may be a little fortunate because his endeavours to move it on were unsuccessful, but the umpire will call for a bounce right in front of North Melbourne's goal.
20 points the margin. Schwass around his body, but not nearly far enough.
Schwass again starting deep in the forward line, being picked up by Shane Watson.
Here's Ashenko. Alex Ashenko from 50. Kicks directly to full forward. A couple of big flyers, but no mark. Allison is dangerous in front of goal. He's kicked a couple. Forced onto the right foot. It drifts into the pocket. Bends away from Krasiska initially. He can come over the top. Wood should get them out of trouble. From half back off to Butcher. Was it the right option?
Kerrison.
Back towards he goes. Over the centre. Buckley tries to spoil, but is ineffective. And Scholl marks strongly. Off he goes to Trent Nichols. North holding them out at the moment. Into the middle, and Allison gets clear. Oh, his beautiful hand pass to Blakey. And this will be a goal coming up for North Melbourne.
And it was just done too easily. Good effort by Craig Scholl, who started the second half well. He took a telling mark and moved the ball on quickly. And the left-footed brigade for North Melbourne once again. Nichols involved, as was Ellison. He just dummied and created something there and put Blakey into space, who goal.
Well, back to a 26-point margin in favour of North Melbourne. Collingwood get the ball out of the centre at Shaw to Woods. Again, a very awkward kicking style makes it difficult for the forwards. A high kick, Laidley, taken by Martin. He just looked up at the critical stage, lost control of it. Stevens there for North now, kicks it down the wing, and it's punched away there by Krasiska from Mann, over for a throw-in.
Been impressed with Anthony Stevens going very hard at the ball, as he always is, but he does get the ball out of the centre, and he's been spearing some beautiful kicks into the forward line.
Monkhorst and Ischenko. Big Alex gets it clear very effectively to Ramiro at the feet of Archer, but Archer's very determined, and he gets the ball in towards German. German is at centre half forward. His high kick lands it between centre half forward and full forward. Good mark to Kelly for Collingwood. Sweeping hand pass. Hassel just had to wait. Then he sweeps it further forward. Russell goes wide. Oh, clean bowls Hassel. Too many hand passes by Collingwood. Stevens to Nichols. Nichols hook kick to the front of the goals. Awkward bounce for Longmire. It's tapped back to that player. He stands and delivers inaccurately. It's out on the full free kick to Collingwood.
Well, that was ordinary play by John Longmire. He had two North Melbourne players alone in the square. It was just a lack of awareness that he didn't pop the ball over.
Krasiska from the back pocket to a congested half-back line. Shenko is in front, unable to take the mark. McGuan is away. They're defending grandly, but they need goals. Christian gives it to Brown. He has a look down towards the 50-metre line. Out comes Jason McCartney. Tries to get clear towards Woods. The hand pass going astray. Martin's through, but only for a moment. James is caught. Loses it. Ball spills free to Laidley. He goes even wider. Pressure now on the North defence. McGuan caught. Blakey the tackler. Umpire putting the whistle away and letting it go. Laidley back towards centre wing. Through the arms of Monkhorst off to McKernan. Corey McKernan kicks up towards the half-forward line. Out comes Johnny Longmire. Clean bowled. In towards the pocket. Allison goes racing at it. Krasiska charges them.
Oh,
subtle towards the boundary line. Kelly.
Subtle as a sledgehammer.
Straight over.
Tony Shaw having a rest on the bench. Sharkey back on.
Good mark this.
Longmire almost directly in front. 40 metres out.
There he is, Tony Shaw. His opponent, Anthony Stevens, has just been a little bit too creative. Lee Matthews has swung a change.
John Longmire kicked 1 in the first term and 2 in the second. Gradually coming back into form, had a couple of down weeks. From 40 metres. Drop punt looks pretty good. They're in trouble now, the Pies. There's North kick on. 10-9, plays 5-7.
Yes, and a costly mistake from Craig Kelly, because this has resulted in a goal. Good effort to mark there from Longmire. They're the ones that give you confidence to go for the ball when they stick. And confidence is what playing up forward's all about. In fact, it really is the key to football. Sap Rocker back onto the ground. James off.
Well, Rocker is back onto the ground for Collingwood. This is Buckley. Gets his left foot to it, kicks it wide towards the wing, and the mark is taken by Brown. McGuan's running for Brown. Brown's kick is to the advantage of Mickey McGuan. It goes past that player. He can't quite get clear of the North Melbourne tagger there, who was Wayne Schwass, and it goes over for a boundary throw-in.
There's an interested watcher there, and Neil Baum looks on. You can see Sav Rocker go into the ruck and Big Monkhurst to fall forward.
Well, you would think a coach would get into an elevated position maybe, but Barmy quite content to sit at ground level. Collingwood get the ball, or North Melbourne rather, get the ball back towards the wing, and it's thumped over for another throw-in right on the players' interchange area.
It is a practice of a lot of South Australian coaches, though. They do monitor the game from ground level.
13 and a half minutes remaining in this third quarter. At the moment, Collingwood making no impression. Francisco to Christian. From the middle, he guides it up towards half forward. Michael Martin has been very solid in defence tonight, Mickey Martin. Pushes to the outer side. Hassel. In towards half forward once more. Francisco backing into the pack, couldn't complete the mark. Clever tap on towards Buckley. Francisco again. They have trouble getting past half forward. Woods in all sorts of bother. Shrugs one tackle. Eventually gets boot to ball. Wobbling it down towards full forward and Monkhorst. Man is the defender. Punching it clear. Sharkey runs into trouble. It's pushed wide towards Romero. Jose gets them out of trouble to Darren Crocker. Up towards half forward. Coming charging out is Archer. Gives it away to Nichols. Still 65 metres out and caught Trent Nichols. Back to Archer he goes. He's giving a little ground to try and set something up. And he does it beautifully. Longmire will have a shot. 45 out.
Brilliant kick, that one, to set up John Longmire, but for the life of me, I can't believe that the Big Monkhurst tried to take a chest mark down there when he stands 6'8", and stick the hands up in the air and take a 3-foot clear.
From 48 metres, long kick. Longmire, but off target, 1 point.
Well, you wouldn't think Collingwood have got much chance, would you? I mean, they've only managed 5 goals. We're well past half-time, and they need to kick more than 5 goals to get in front. So statistics will show you that they've got the job in front of them.
Yes, they certainly have. In fact, they'll now probably turn their attention to a game being played later this weekend between Geelong and Richmond, which could have a bearing on where they finish. All sorts of connotations as Woods wobbles it to Kerrison. Over the centre. Up towards half forward. And Monkhurst flies again. Man spoils again. Cotton in trouble. McGuan also in trouble. Smith lays a good tackle. Comes to Fairley. Kicks back towards the half-back line. Woods dropped what he should have taken. Gets it back to Russell. Well, they're suffering at the moment. Brown couldn't do anything with it. Eventually he finds Tony Francis.
Gee, I'm tired watching that.
Well, it's been relentless pressure from North Melbourne, and they have affected so many spoils and tackles that it has just put that little bit of extra pressure on Collingwood's midfield. And, they've struggled to bring the ball into the forward line with any certainty or any surety. And Tony Francis showing us how to do it overhead.
This for his first goal of the night. Going to be kicking from just on 45 metres and is away to the right for behind.
Well, it was certainly a rather lacklustre kick there by Tony Francis. Ross Smith kicks into the far side, gets good distance and finds Martin. Martin, oh, have a look at Mickey Martin go. shows it to the left and then kicks it with the right foot up towards half forward. Allison did well. He was behind Watson and he did exceptionally well to force that ball clear and over for a throw-in. 7 kicks, but more importantly, he's kicked 3 goals for North Melbourne. And the ruckman, Houghton, gets to the front. Taken there by Brown. He's grabbed and dumped. And the umpire will call for a bounce. Minutes left in the third term. North Melbourne by 32 points. They led by 13 at quarter time. They led by 20 at half time. So they're just slowly building. Stevens left it behind. It's tapped clear. Ross Smith couldn't gather it. Crocker, now Woods. Taken again, this time by Brown, going absolutely nowhere. And the umpire will bounce it once again.
Brown's first half opponent, Glenn Archer's now in the forward pocket, being picked up by Krasiska.
Interesting facial dress, that one, Sandy. The North beat Collingwood in their earlier meeting under lights here this year, and they did it without Wayne Carey. They're doing it in the second half without their skipper as well. McGuan kicks up over the middle. Scholl couldn't take it in opposition to Buckley, who just paddles it forward very cleverly to Sam Rocker, who passes to McCartney. So they'll get a shot.
Some good play in there by Williams. Just a little tap on was important.
So McCartney for his first. 21 so far this season. And he hasn't added to that.
You want to play in the finals, Collingwood?
Fairly appropriate.
Are they on the payroll?
I think it's a disgruntled supporter. Well, frustrated perhaps. 70 plays 39.
What was that?
31 points the margin.
A legitimate kick-in.
There's been no whistle for it. To say otherwise, Francis has got to come back. He hasn't heard the whistle, but he's got to take that ball back.
What about Stevens holding up Francis? He was not going to get through. No.
He's a real little terror, isn't he, Anthony Stevens? The McCartney lead is ignored as Houghton goes long up towards full forward. Big fly by Peter Mann, who enjoys that. Off to Fairley. To the half-back line, they're out of trouble again. Peter German has possession. Goes towards centre wing. Archer goes flying across the boundary. He'd taken the mark, and he kicks to half forward. Plenty there, but doing it alone in the end was Gavin Brown. Off to Kerrison, now Christian, and then Russell. And they start something from half-back. Kelly chips it, but he chips it high up towards centre wing. Well done by Williams, who had to beat a couple. Tried to tap it on. Laidley tries to hold it up, and he does it well. Off to Martin, who dashes clear. They're getting out of that defensive area a little too easily. Down towards the half-forward line once again. Kelly tries to swat it clear. That's effective. Krasiska's kick was partly smothered. Schwass can't get into the game tonight. McGuan locks it up, and there'll be another bounce. 7.5 minutes remaining in this third term. And the Roos lead by 31 points.
Wayne Schwass, there's Anthony Rock on the boundary line, warming up in preparation to take his place on the ground. Collingwood get the ball clear, it's Woods. Quick kick finds touch on centre wing. So Collingwood, well, they've kicked 2 behinds in this third quarter. Trent Nichols taking a spell on the bench. On the other hand, North Melbourne have kicked 2 goals, 1. So not a lot of scoring in this third term, but certainly North Melbourne holding the Magpies up quite nicely. The ball spills for German. Gets his left foot to it. Gets it up to the 50-metre line. McKernan keeps his footing and then bashes it further forward. Kerrison and Rock. Kerrison gets clear and then goes for the safety of the line. And we'll have a throw in about 52 metres from the North Melbourne goal. And the Magpies will effect a change. Butcher to come on and Severio Rocker to have a spell on the bench.
The selection of Rocker really hasn't worked for Collingwood tonight. Really hasn't had much of an impact on the game. Must have been a bit of a risk coming in with that ankle injury.
German was in trouble. Crocker towards the boundary line. Keeps it in play. Back to German again. A High kick down towards McKernan territory. Almost had to do it with one hand as Kelly came over the top to spoil. Down in front is Francis. Tony Francis shows a bit of pace. Off to Gavin Brown. From the half-back line, just belts it high up over the middle, and the diving mark is taken by Shaw. They've got all the answers at the moment. North Melbourne, Schwass through the middle, up to half forward, towards Longmire territory once again. Good mark taken by Kelly. Dashes clear to Francis, who pops it high, up towards Butcher and Fairley. Some holding on against Fairley. Butcher to take it.
There's been worse than that happened in the game, I would think.
A wry smile from Ian Fairley saying, I'll be blowed. Butcher from centre wing wants Monkhorst. Belted clear of him. Blakey, Laidley combined with Stevens. Back to Laidley, back to Stevens. And he stabs it long and low towards the boundary line on the outer side and taken over by Tony Woods.
Well, Big Sav Rocker on the bench and Monkhorst at full forward. Collingwood must be implementing just a makeshift ruckman. There he comes, Jason McCartney. He's come down from centre-half forward to do it. Probably going with 4 on-ball ruck rover types.
Got it to Russell. Down towards the forward zone and pushed by Scholl over the line, conceding a behind.
Only their 3rd score for the quarter.
And they've been all behind. Alan McAllister and faces Alan McAllister and Graham Allen, perhaps telling the story for Collingwood. Scholl takes it from the back pocket.
Scholl's kick is out towards half back. Good mark. Taken by Houghton. He's kicked 2 goals to be Collingwood's leading goal scorer, 50 metres. Well, this will make an absolute certainty for Trent Houghton to get his 3rd goal. You would think he'll be right inside the goal square. And you wouldn't think a modern-day AFL footballer could miss from here. Didn't see what the infringement was for.
Well, I think Houghton shaped a handball and a couple of the North Melbourne players attacked him. That's why they went over the mark.
Well, Houghton for his 3rd goal. And he gets it. So for all that work, they still only trail by 24 points with 5 minutes in the 3rd term remaining.
But it is hard to see where Collingwood are going to get the spark and the goal-kicking ability. Let's see if we can pick up where this infringement actually comes. It was a pretty good mark, but we're none the wiser.
We're back to a 24-point margin with under 5 minutes remaining in this 3rd quarter. Who can win it out of the centre? No one on this occasion. Tony Francis will get a pat for some good work.
A bit of chesty bonds going on there, but it's Trent Houghton that's gone into the ruck for Collingwood.
Doesn't do a bad job. Seen him in the past handle it.
Has to do it again on this occasion. Trying to get clear as Tony Woods, and does so. To the half-forward line, Laidley steals it off the pack. Down to Rock, who's been used off the bench tonight, and used pretty effectively. German from a standing start. Back towards the middle once more. And a free kick, or is it a push, McKernan. Taken by Mann. Longmire. Couldn't complete the mark. Hassel tidies up.
Oh, get under that.
And short and high, difficult one. Woods goes towards centre wing. His target on that occasion was Williams. He may finish up with it. Here he goes now, caught by Laidley, but he gets the kick. Only travels probably 25 metres. Scholl again works well across half-back. Brings it back into the centre, but Butcher's the only one there. Well, they're 4 goals down. If they got another one, it might just be the spark they need going into the final quarter. Perhaps it could be Buckley from 52 metres. Kicks in towards full forward. They need a mark. Monkey can't provide them with it.
It was a great effort by Mick Martin there. He was a sitting duck. Monkhorst had the sit. Buckley put it up in the air.
The kick should have been more to the front of the square, in my opinion. Kick in is taken by Fairley. Fairley goes to left half back. Well outside, Woods and Crocker. Crocker does well, but he's tackled by Williams. Gets it to Schwass. Is that a throw? Yes, according to the umpire. So Collingwood will take the free kick. There's 3 minutes left. Some momentum for them. Poor kick by Williams. Maybe critical. Taken by German at centre half back for North Melbourne. He kicks towards half forward. It's punched away by Krasiska. Gatherers by Butcher. Back to Krasiska. He can go short, but he elects to go long, and he looks for Buckley. In goes Blakey. Now Scholl. The turnover could be critical. The kick, terrific effort, not paid. Play on. Ellison gets it to Longmire. Longmire goes for goal, and you wouldn't believe it. Johnny Longmire's kicked 5. Was that a mark? At centre half back by the Collingwood player.
There's a couple of mistakes by the Collingwood boys up at the forward line also, which affected the turnover as you described, Robbo. Pretty tough decision for the umpire. He did have his, he was blinded a little bit by the players' backs, and Longmire's made them play with an excellent goal.
Collingwood fans not happy, but the goal stands. 11-10 has 6-11 out of the middle. Houghton takes it. There's been a whistle and some confusion between two umpires.
I think the kick was for North Melbourne in the centre.
So Houghton trying to steal it. Instead it's McKernan. North into attack again. Down towards the forward line. Longmire got a hand to it. And again. Archer in over the top. McAdam in late. McAdam, who left the ground earlier after a heavy clash, that appears to have recovered.
Kelly to centre half forward for Collingwood.
Scholl's done a good job on Buckley.
Great quarter.
Still in North's attacking zone. Kerrison's kick straight up and down. Blakey couldn't get a fist to it. McAdam very quick to get boot to ball, but poorly directed, taken by Krasiska. Just blasts away to the outer side, trying to find a bit of space. Crocker gets claim. Handball's back over towards Romero. He almost threw that out. Caught was Paul Williams. Throw it in, says the umpire. Collingwood making another change.
Shane Watson limping off the ground. Perhaps he hurt himself in that attempted mark, or the mark that wasn't paid. And Tony Shaw trots back on.
In the meantime, football's gone against the Pies and Williams.
Actually, Williams has been a bit of a disappointment for Collingwood tonight. For them to have won, he would have had to kick maybe 2 or 3 goals. He just hasn't been allowed to get loose. Dean Laidley done a terrific job on him.
15th possession for Laidley. Kicks towards the 50-metre line. McKernan was there. Krasiska and Brown combine at the back. Gavin Brown wobbles one towards Butcher on the half-back flank. Slips at the critical stage, but manages to get it to Tony Shaw, who gives it to Russell. He goes back inside towards Butcher. There's under a minute remaining in this quarter. Collingwood desperately needs a goal. Butcher towards half forward. But North showing more determination. Come away. And may make them pay. Jose for goal! They do make them pay. Plays 6-11. The Roos looking the goods.
Well, I'm not sure Michael Christian would like to see the replay of the way this ball came in, because there was only one player going for the football on that occasion, and Mickey Martin is just dominating this quarter and has had a pretty good game overall.
It wasn't a bad kick by Ramiro either to score. He was a bit undecided and then went for goal and got it. So the bounce back in the centre. McKernan got his left hand to it. Blakey streams through. Gets the hand pass to no one in particular. Back goes Butcher. He's well tackled by Allison. The ball spills. Hassel tidies up for the Magpies. Gets it to Kerrison. Kerrison goes to Shaw. Shaw bombs away in towards half forward. And nearly the mark taken there by Houghton. He may hold it up. McKernan. Francis. Now Ramiro. Ramiro. Short kick. Picked off by McAdam. the siren has sounded to end the third term. And in a match-winning performance, North Melbourne in that quarter kicked 4 goals to Collingwood's 1. And the Kangaroos lead at three-quarter time. They're 12-10 to 6-11.
The World Swimming Championships from Rome. The action begins tomorrow night on 7.
A very good quarter for North Melbourne. 12-10, 82. They now lead by 35 points from Collingwood, who are 6-11, 47. Well, with the warm weather returning, so too does the golf on 7. And one of the highlights of our summer is the Greg Norman Hold'em Classic. Coming soon, so I hope you can join us for that. And speaking of highlights, I guess one of the football highlights of the year would be a person lucky enough to be able to go out on that one day in October, as it is this year, and toss the coin to see who will kick where on the grand final. Well, you've got the chance to do it.
Imagine swapping places with the likes of Pat Cash or Alan Border and tossing the coin on grand final day this year. Well, here's your big chance. Rotary Australia is raffling the coin toss. The minimum purchase is 5 $1 tickets. You can get your chance by phoning free call 008 066 366 and have your credit card handy. Or by sending a self-stamped addressed envelope to this address with a cheque or money order. You've got to be in it. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Wayne Carey looks as though he'll take no further part in this game. On the subject of injuries, Dipper, Collingwood have their share. How's Shane Watson?
Well, he's not very good, Sandy. Has a twisted right ankle, and Collingwood are certainly going to miss his place off the back line. I think he's been one of the drives out of the back line for Collingwood. And talking about back lines, I mean, North Melbourne's back line always reliable, with Martin, Fairley, Smith playing excellent football tonight. And I think, Sandy, North are starting to apply the screws now.
Actually, Dipper, Jared was wondering if you would like to change your selection.
No, I'll stick with the Magpies. You're not out of it yet.
The fat lady's about to get ready, I think.
I think she's gargling the water.
Yeah, she's up there going,
the
la, la,
statistics
la.
that I was writing down here was that North kicked 4-1 in that third quarter to Collingwood's 1-4. If it had been around the other way, 9-8 to 9-13, it could have been.
But if is a
But it's
marvellous
not.
word.
So that was a lot of rubbish, wasn't it?
And on the bench for the various sides is Carey, Oshchenko and Rock for North Melbourne, James, McCartney and Watson.
So here we go. The final quarter. Now Friday night action. The final round of home and away matches. Jose Romero starts North Melbourne off, booting them down into attack, down towards half forward, towards where McAdam is lurking. Had it for a moment. Longmire now. Off to Romero, who can't find some space. Back to McAdam. The high kick is by Schwartz, but it's wide and away to the left and out of bounds on the full.
Had to be impressed with the big tap from McKernan. It actually hit Jose Romero coming off the square.
Some ironical cheers as the umpire goes down, but only for a moment. Hassell's kick just wobbles towards Crocker. He keeps it in play. They all stop. Longmire making a goal out of this. John Longmire turns and kicks deep in towards full forward. And the result is a free kick for a push. And after just getting rid of the cramp, Glenn Archer will pick himself up as McAdam goes over to assist him.
He probably hasn't done as much running in a game as he has tonight, having an on-ball role. But he will struggle to take his kick, I would think. One thing Collingwood has been noted for this season is their ability to fight the game out, even if they're in a hopeless position. And we'd expect that they will do that, because percentage, of course, may determine where they finish in the 8, if in fact they do.
Yes, percentage is certain to play a very important part as McAdam tries to bend one back, and he does.
The players are good at that kick, aren't they? Very rarely miss now.
13-10 plays 6-11.
Let's just have a look at the mark there from Glenn Archer. He goes down with cramp. Just having a look at the Collingwood percentage, they're only 103, and lurking behind them is Richmond. And if their percentage, I'm not sure what the figures would be for them to drop 4%, but perhaps it's 6% in fact.
To get down to 100, they'd have to lose this game by 62 points or more. So that's another scenario that we can consider as Collingwood strive to get the ball out of the centre of congestion. Tony Shaw, now Christian, worried out of it by Schwass. Kerrison gets his right foot to it and kicks it in towards half forward. The ball spills, but certainly attacking it there was Ross Smith, and he kicks it back towards half forward. No mark to Monkhorst, collected by Christian, gets it wide for Buckley. Buckley's got a player on centre wing. It's McGuan. McGuan looks for the hand pass. Then he gives it away to Tony Shaw. Shaw's kick high inside 50 metres. Rocket can't get into it. Hassel is there, trying to add some pace. Russell across his body to centre half forward. At the back, Laidley gets a left fist to it, grabbing hold of Williams, according to the umpire. And Dean Laidley can think himself a little stiff. I didn't think there was much in that. But the footballers with Paul Williams. He's kicked one, and he'll be kicking from right on 50 metres, so it'll be a pretty good kick to score. Williams going for Collingwood's 7th goal. It's high, close to the line, and it is a one behind.
Well, I guess if we're looking for certains in the final 8, if Collingwood are to make it, then they will finish in 8th position now. So they will play either Carlton, or if they have an upset loss, they'll head off to the West Coast.
Either way, a daunting task. Man under pressure. He's going to get a free kick for a push. The hit. Got rid of the ball. He's done well. Gives it to German on centre wing. Peter German floats it up towards Lolmire, trying to do the work from behind. Kelly in front. Shaw does the roving to Butcher. From the half-back line towards half-forward. Brown in front of Shaw. Sweeping hand pass to Russell, 70 metres out from goal. Stabs it in towards full forward, fairly in front. He does it well.
Well, it wasn't a great kick from Russell. He hasn't had a big night, but once again, Sav Rocker just refusing to lead.
Now, Romero's on his own on that outer side. Crocker can give it to him. He does, and Mickey Martin's down there. He's having a lovely night. Romero across centre wing.
Well,
He's almost ambling. Mick's still going with him. Romero says, come and get me. No one does. From 60 metres, he kicks in towards full forward, and there's been some holding on, however. And Collingwood will take a free kick on the last line of defence. Kerrison has it in the back pocket and comes away towards centre half back. Butcher, front spot, couldn't take the mark. Man's hand pass, a little proppy for Stevens. He's in trouble. Mate, let Butcher in once again. Only for a moment, though. His hand pass partly smothered by Blakey. Now here's German. Shrug the tackle. Tumble the punt down to half forward, only as far as Kelly.
Kelly took a little bit of a risk, but got it to Kerrison. Kerrison to Sharkey. Sharkey goes wide. Mark is taken by Buckley. They'll need a super quarter from Nathan Buckley. His kick towards the 50-metre line, and the mark is taken by Williams. Williams must move it on quickly. He kicks it high, in towards full forward. Rocker having a very, very average night. Beaten pointlessly by Fairley. Fairley from the goal square, kicks it out towards half-back. Blakey from behind. Getting rid of Brown illegally was John Blakey, and Gavin Brown will take the free kick. Dennis Pagan not showing all that much emotion. His team leads by nearly 7 goals in the last quarter. This is Brown for Collingwood. Terrific kick for distance, but in his endeavours, hooked the kick badly, and it's out on the full. Free kick to be taken by Michael Martin. And some North Melbourne people say to me that they wonder whether he deserves his place in the team, but gee whiz, he's a determined customer, and Michael Christian can vouch for that. Romero on centre wing, goes down the ground, in towards the pocket. It's punched away by Sharkey. There's a lack of confidence. He's beaten there by Archer. Butcher does well to hold it up. And the umpire will bounce at left half forward, left half back for Collingwood, right half forward for the Kangaroos.
Big Sav hits the bench again. Jason McCartney interchanges.
Archer still not 100%. Man doing the ruck work, taken by Crocker. Wide kick, Allison can't keep it in. So dangerous in front of goal if he gets a sniff of it.
Well, just having a look at Glenn Archer, it may be an idea to get Anthony Rock back onto the ground, because I think that cramp in the calf, you'd be more liable to injury.
Christian beaten, but again pushed over the line. Peter Mann coming back into this lineup, certainly done a creditable job, Robert.
My word, I think he's been very, very good.
There he is, number 20, gave a bit of a nudge on that occasion. Then is quick to put body over the ball once more.
And I'll give you another scenario.
He's still going, Tone.
If Melbourne and Richmond both win on the weekend, it's Tony Shaw's last game tonight.
Yes. Just have to see what happens. Stevens caught. There is Tony Shaw.
Oh, there you go, Jose.
Nathan Buckley. Well, what do you think?
In a game of football, you pick something like that out to give a bloke a lazy kick at the ball.
And Archer is coming off. It will be Ashenko who will go onto the ground. In the meantime, Romero has the football. So a few problems for North as they're about to start their finals campaign. Romero's kick is just in from behind.
Well, there was some concern when the final 8 was first established that the 7th and 8th sides would probably be only making up the numbers. And on tonight's showing, you have to suggest that that is the case. And that is a regrettable kick out from Gavin Francisco, who also blundered fairly terribly last week against St Kilda.
Well, it's McAdam with the football for North Melbourne. He has kicked one goal earlier in this last quarter, when he took the kick that Glenn Archer was unable to take because of that cramp that Archer was suffering. So McAdam now a chance to put his second goal on the scoreboard from 30 metres, and does it easily. McAdam's second goal means that North Melbourne lead this match now by 47 points, and there's still 12 and a half minutes left in the game.
And it's a beautiful 30-metre drop punt straight into the arms of McAdam, and that's the second one tonight that Collingwood have erred on, giving them a costly 2-goal deficit.
47 points is the margin. 12 and a half minutes remaining. Monkhorst in the ruck. McGuan couldn't take it. Well, Francis rode the bump and he bounced back like a rubber band man. Held the football for a long time as Blakey tried to get a kick. Stevens almost marked it.
Well, Shenko and Monkhorst were wrestling for 5 minutes, and his umpires just plucked that one and given it to the big fella.
Damien Monkhorst has had a fine year for Collingwood. Kicks in towards half forward. Laidley a spoil, and some holding on has been picked up. It's gone against McCartney. To be taken by Fairley.
Does a good job, Ian Fairley.
Yep. Towards centre wing. Spoil was of Monkhorst. And a free, in doing so, he's given away a free kick. Taken by Ashenko. It's underneath a drop punt. Doesn't quite get onto it. Longmire tried to flick it over the back. Romero did beautifully to Blakey. This should be another goal. It is. The old North V8 is just cruising now into the finals.
You were referring to the football side, of course.
Correct.
And that they are, Sandy. A pretty soft free kick there to Ishenko, but he good roving there from Jose, and John Blakey, who's been one of the recruits of the decade, of course, for North Melbourne, just tops it off with a second goal from the middle, and he's had another pretty good afternoon.
Actually, he's another Fitzroy player that has left the club. when you think about all the players playing with opposition clubs that were with Fitzroy. 15-11 plays a miserable 6 goals 12 to Collingwood. Monkhorst, Buckley leaves it behind. Francis grabbed by Schwass, and Francis will take the free kick for Collingwood.
And it did look like Glenn Archer there had rolled his ankle, perhaps not the cramp, so that's a bit of a concern with 7 days recovery.
Francis's kick. Again, no mark taken by the Collingwood forwards. Martin's hand pass was dubious. Blakey, not dubious, it was a throw, according to Gerard. And the kick goes wide towards the wing. Gatherers by McKernan. Back goes Butcher, but he's beaten for it by Ramiro. Ramiro backs himself, then gives it to Allison. Allison wouldn't mind putting another goal beside his name. Goes with the left foot. McAdam early, but Krasiskin has paid the mark in the square for Collingwood. Gets the hand pass away to Kerrison. Chasing hard was Nichols. Kerrison's kick. Christian marks just to the side of McKernan.
Michael Christian. 4 kicks, 7 hand passes for him tonight. Centre wing, Brown in the middle of the pack. Tony Shaw down in front. Off to Nathan Buckley. It's a kick under pressure, wobbling it up towards the right half forward line. Before it heads over the line for another throw in. Now more on Archer. What news do you have, Dipper?
Well, he's having the works done tonight. He's having his left calf rubbed and also his left ankle iced.
So it could be a worrying week for him. And North Melbourne, Monkhorst and Ashenko still at it once again.
Yes, I thought that was fair enough then.
Ping.
Umpire James Van Beek was right in the middle of the action then.
So it finishes with Scholl to take the free kick. Up over the centre he goes. Corey McKernan couldn't take the mark. Butcher gets it out. Romero doing the roving work. He's been busy since coming on.
23rd possession.
Fine mark by Longmire. Donny Longmire coming back into form. He's booted 5.
And the whole of the North Melbourne side are just hitting their straps at the right time of the season. Now, there was some concern that they were going to fade out like they did last year, but I've seen them in the last 2 weeks, and they are a side headed for big things in the final series.
This for number 6. No. So 5-2, Robbo, is it?
Yep.
Still a pretty good performance for 15-12.
Yes, I mentioned last week that I think if John Longmire, if North Melbourne are to have any chance, he's got to kick bags of 4 and more for North Melbourne to kick a score that is around about, what, 17 or 18 goals, which you need to win, particularly finals. McKernan couldn't quite take it. Crocker off the left foot, kicks to the goal square. Longmire, great mark. That was a perfect picture of 2 men struggling and one superior with his strength taking that chest mark. Well, surely John Longmire will bring up his 6th goal with this kick. He's only 25 metres out, directly in front, and he pops it through. So 6 goals to the North Melbourne full forward. Without Wayne Carey for over half a game, this has been a magnificent performance by the Kangaroos. They lead by 10 goals.
Well, of course, Collingwood are without their regular full-back in Gary Pert. But I was just about to make the same suggestion. It's been a comprehensive shellacking with the North Melbourne side absent Wayne Carey.
60 points the margin. Monkhorst, a big run in the middle once more at Ashenko. Stevens takes it out of the centre. They're charging home now, North Melbourne. And they had Mark Roberts coming back in the reserves tonight, which was good news for Roo fans. Allison caught. Was he held? He looked for the free kick. It didn't come his way. And we'll have a bounce. So we have the 60-point margin you were talking about, Robbo, to really crunch that percentage.
Well, it just means the points for and the points against will be equal if they're beaten by 62 points.
Not far off it now. Sharkey from half-back. Kicks towards centre wing. Asking his ruckman to do some running.
Oh, well
and
done.
he does. Played by Monkhorst. Gets away from Mashenko and kicks up towards the half-forward line. No mark taken. Tony Shaw scouting. Couldn't take it cleanly in at the first attempt. Will get another shot. He might need 3.
I'll give Laidley a pat on the back for that.
Yeah, worked hard, didn't he? And they do go over and pat Dean Laidley on the back.
I don't think he'd let you eat his crumbs after he'd finished his lunch, Dean Laidley.
Look at him go again.
Oh, mate, this
Just
is just
persists.
absolutely enormous. It's just little bits and pieces that stop Collingwood from moving the ball forward.
They're at it again. Francis this time asking the question. More in hope than anything else. Because Stevens will be at the bottom of the pack. So Lee Matthews, let's look to 1995. Maybe. Maybe. Longhorst again. Shaw the attempt. Francis almost standing on his head.
Free kick to Tony Shaw. And, well, this would be just his distance, wouldn't it, Jared?
Yeah, I think he can kick exactly that far. But I have seen him barrel one this year from about this distance.
Well, he's been a marvellous player, Tony Shaw, for a man that a lot of people, including myself, have had doubts about his ability, but he's kicked right to the line and it's touched.
2 inches
right
too far
on the
out he
line.
was.
So, bad luck, Tony, there. He's kicked it behind for Collingwood. And they could have done with at least another goal to make that scoreboard look a little respectable. Watson on the bench, 6-13. That's a miserable result for an evening's football. On the other hand, North Melbourne have kicked 16 goals, 12. This is Fairley with the football in the right back pocket for North Melbourne. He kicks it out towards the wing. Martin being lousy as ever. Mann, a high kick across his left shoulder, goes towards half forward. Punched away by Christian, rebounds for Butcher. Butcher goes to Sharkey. Sharkey's kick is smothered off the boot. Well done by big Damien Monkhorst. Gets it towards Butcher, but he's harassed by Nichols. Rock gets the resultant spill. Crocker and Mann. The ball a little difficult to control. In goes McGuan, and he's confronted by Crocker tackling, and Blakey in there, and the kick eventually has been marked by Sharkey. Gets it to Christian. Christian with the left foot finds Butcher.
He's got a bit of room on the outer side. From 70 metres, he chips in towards the half-forward line, and the mark taken by Paul Williams. Kicked a goal in the second quarter, but they've been few and far between for the Maggies. Cotton has been their principal scorer. Kicked a goal in each of the first 3 quarters. Williams for number 2. Just inside 40 metres. I think he's threaded it. That's their 7th. 7-13, 55. North is 16-12, 108.
And when you look down the list of North Melbourne players, as we see this goal for Collingwood take place on screen, there are plenty of players there that have just come good at the right time of the year. We speak of German, and Crocker's had a big game today. Craig Scholl doing well. And Peter Mann having a good night.
Back in the middle once more. Any goals Collingwood can score will most certainly be a bonus in the last 5 minutes of this game, with percentage playing an all-important part. Russell's hand pass is stolen by Schwartz. Wayne Schwartz from the middle sends North Melbourne forward again. Kelly got a hand to it. Longmire at the back. The quick reply. Longmire now has 7.
We can do no more than what John Longmire's presented us with tonight. That kicked 7 goals. Pretty good performance all round. This one, he just curls around the corner. Bounces truly for him. And he will go into the next week's final full of confidence.
Well, 59 points the margin. Very important for Collingwood, but it's Jenko, then Mann. McAdam leaves it for Schwartz. A handball over the top for Rock. Tries to go back to Schwartz. Successful. Wayne Schwartz's right foot kick gathers about 35 metres for his team, and it's out of bounds in the right half forward flank region. And that attendance, Sandy, is great.
Certainly is. 72,000.
Well, football is alive and well, isn't it? I mean, on Friday night at the MCG.
Marvellous attendance. 72,932 to be precise. Tony Francis has it locked up. So who won the raffle ticket, boys? Who was nearest the pin?
Snowy. Doesn't he usually win that?
55, plays 114, under 4 minutes remaining.
Ooh, that was a bit ordinary.
Oh, Moncourse thought it was too, but he's got a free kick. Well, he's tried his heart out all night. Finds Christian on half-back. Drifts it up towards Woods in the middle. Now Butcher. They've fallen down badly up forward. No one able to kick a swag of goals. And it's Williams over the line, eventually without the football. In fact, he was laying a tackle on Laidley.
Yeah, well, I think it's been a more complete victory than that, Sandy. I think North Melbourne have just about been dominant all over the field. It's difficult to find true winners for Collingwood.
Well, remember that Collingwood kicked 1 goal 6 in the first quarter, and they kicked that very early in the first term. So North Melbourne have controlled the game for, well, nearly apart from the first 10 minutes, the whole game. This is Ramiro again, gone too far. Well, I'd like to measure that against Craig Scholl earlier in the game. And on this occasion, the umpire has seen fit to penalise Jose Ramiro. And the free kick will go to Collingwood to be taken by Kent Butcher.
Been a good performer coming off the bench, Jose.
Butcher's kick to within 50 metres, and a good mark taken by McCartney. Now, McCartney has been one of Collingwood's culprits when it comes to accuracy at shooting for goal. He's managed just 3 behinds from set shots, so his confidence wouldn't be all that high, I wouldn't think. He's kicking from about 40 metres, and there is an example of a man who has lost it all when it comes to shooting for goal. (17-12) play, 7-14, 2.5 minutes left, and Jason McCartney with 4 behinds alongside his name.
Laidley to bring it back into play. As almost as short as he possibly can. Finding McCann. Tucked right in the back pocket. He slams it into the man on the mark. And may be able to make something out of this, Williams. And he does. His 3rd goal. And on in the square. But only a bit of sorting out, I fear.
I'm sure thinks he's got nothing to lose. I saw Carl Dittrich go out in a blaze of glory here. I think it was 1980 it was. Dislocated his shoulder, went back out on the ground and took about 8 scalps with him versus Collingwood.
Well, he can have a wry smile, Tony Shaw.
Free kick being paid after all that.
Still has plenty to say.
He's
got blood on the left side of his head, so he's going to have to leave the ground. Veteran of 312 games.
Well, I'm sure something will be done about this blood rule.
I'm not sure there's anything that can be done though, Robbo. It is a shocker, there's no doubt about that, but
I know if you put it into action properly, you enforce it properly, the players have got to leave the field. But it's going to be interesting in a grand final with about 3 minutes to go, and you've got to pull a bloke off and stop the play, and it might be a run on with one of the teams.
Really sure off. Let's get back to this game. As Schwartz goes down towards the forward line, ricochets off to Crocker, who shoots towards goal and wobbles it through. Darren Crocker gets his first for the night. North go on their merry way.
Well, Darren Crocker started in the middle. He was picking up Tony Francis in the first quarter. He had 9 possessions as an on-baller. Pretty good performance from Crocker. Has since been up both ends of the field. Has maintained a bit of an involvement, finishing the game with 22 possessions. So a good all-round performance.
So the bounce back for the ruckman, and it really wasn't for Collingwood, but because Ischenko got an emphatic left hand to it, Crocker's held up, and it's Krasiska's free kick. Krasiska, you can see the back end of the square in the background there, and his kick finds Monkhorst on centre wing. Damien Monkhorst, who's tried valiantly, but a simple mark taken by Scholl at centre half back. His second half, Craig Scholl, has been excellent. He kicks it back towards centre half forward for North Melbourne, man from behind, but it's picked off by Nichols. Nichols goes long, and it's a good kick. It's a beautiful kick. There was absolutely no way known that Collingwood were going to intercept that kick by Trent Nichols, and he's planted it right on the chest of Big John Longmire, who has a chance to kick his 8th goal in what I would feel would have to be his best performance for the year.
Certainly a long time.
Yep. And good to see from North Melbourne's fortunes, and he makes no mistake. So 8 goals to John Longmire. And again, we repeat that Wayne Carey left the field at the end of the second term and hasn't come back for North Melbourne.
Well, if John Longmire kicks 8 goals, North Melbourne win. It's probably simple as that. This has been a pretty good performance by the big fellow, the horse, as they call him. But it can't take anything away from the kick. It was centimetre perfect.
Oh, he's good, Trent Nichols, on the run in that situation. He just kicks with penetration.
Like a cork in the ocean.
That's enough of that. Inside the last minute. Ischenko again as Monkhorst comes over the top, taken by Gavin Brown. Up to the half-forward line. North defence, been very solid. Smith is rock-like. Blakey has been sensational. They've all done extremely well. Applying pressure on the Pies right from the start as Hassel has a chance to go deep into the Collingwood scoring zone. Brown may have to try and sock off the ground here. He doesn't get a chance in the end. Look at them. They're swarming like bees around him. There's 4 of them. 5.
4-1. They're pretty good odds too, those 4-1.
Shows the absolute determination in this North Melbourne lineup that Dennis Pagan has instilled. Monkhorst pushes down in front. Hassel over the line, and there it is. A big, big victory to North Melbourne, who led at every change. And a real confidence booster going into the final series. Let's go down to the ground. Here's our boundary rider, Dipper.
Thanks very much, Sandy. One of my ex-sparring partners in state football, Dean. What a terrific win by the side tonight.
Oh, look, if someone said we was going to win by 10 goals, I never would have believed it. Last week was a confidence win for us, and tonight to come out and win by that much is fantastic. Gives us a good launching pad into the finals next week, and hopefully we haven't got any injuries, and we should give it a big shake.
Well, last year you made the finals, but you went out early. You got a bigger job this year.
Oh, that's for sure. You know, we didn't really want to repeat of last year, and we were very determined tonight to not let that happen. And have played at least 2 finals, and you never know what happens once you get there.
Now, what happened down here before? You had something to say to Tony Shaw?
Tony had a bit of blood in his ear, and I just let the umpire know perhaps it was time for him to go off. And he went off, which is good.
All right, mate, well done.
Thanks a lot.
Well, is this the final exit for Tony Shaw? We'll have to wait and see as the weekend unravels the final 8. North, on the other hand, then look to a finals campaign with confidence, although they do have their problems. Carey, you can see in picture, limping from the ground, and Glenn Archer also has injury worries. Mickey Martin, sensational game tonight. He was rock solid, wasn't he, Robbo?
Oh, yes, I think that North Melbourne's performance was a very, very even team performance. I mean, if you've got players that all get a little bit of a share of the football, I mean, Allison 3 goals, Archie, you can look through from the alphabetical, Blakey, a couple of goals and 19 possessions. Fairley, Crocker. I thought Crocker was good because he must have been a bit concerned about that jaw of his. Longmire kicked 8 goals, Mann with 22 possessions, and even Jose Ramiro, Sandy.
Yeah.
He had 23 posies and kicked a goal. And Jared's just pointing out Wayne Schwass. Well,
I just think he's perhaps...
He stuck at it, though, didn't he?
He did. I think, though, if North are to win in this final series, and I think they're well on track to do that, that he has to come up another notch and perhaps have that sort of Dougie Hawkins-type final series.
Scholl, I was very impressed with his second half. Nathan Buckley had 15 and 3 at half-time. He finished with 20 and 5, and his opponent in the second half was Craig Scholl, so he can certainly look forward to another game. Craig Scholl, I would suggest.
I think on the other hand, a lot of the Collingwood players faded out. There were stars early in Buckley and perhaps Brown and Tony Francis.
So the final scoreline showing North Melbourne the big winners. 19-12, 126. Collingwood, 8-14, 62.